it. Too many people, they don't let me down. But I keep it real, no time for hating. I'm always on that PC tryna shape my sound. See, I'm just tryna make it. I've got some people, I cannot let it down. Aiming for the top of the mountain. Not there yet, but I've left the ground. Oh, I've left the ground. I'm just tryna make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah. Make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah. Oh, I've left the ground. I'm just tryna make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah. Make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah.
Don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.
Man, welcome back to another one, y'all. Another episode. Let's talk Jervis Jordan. Hit that Otis. Let's go. Otis. That Otis, baby. Gotta have that Otis for the Saturday night show, y'all. I hope everybody's doing all right, man. Gotta go through the spiel as usual on the way in, man. Y'all do your boy a favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share, turn the notice on. All that in the bag of chips for your boy. I get my white hat for this one, because I might have to wave the white flag. Man, look, I hope everybody doing all right. But we about to have a fun one tonight. We about to have a fun reaction tonight, man. The brother Andrew Tate went up against the legend Bonnie Blue. If y'all don't know who either one of these two people are, Andrew Tate is a very disliked person in some circles and a very praised person in others. He is associated with the red pill, and he was once the most searched name on Google, which is saying something. And Miss Bonnie Blue is a record setter. You know, she slept with, I think, 1,000 guys in 24 hours. So I think she started off with doing 100 in a certain amount of time, then she went and did 1,000. And you know, she promotes the super side of feminism, she's like the feminist ultimate boss, and Andrew Tate's kind of like the ultimate red pill boss, I guess, you know. And they sat down and actually ended up having a conversation, y'all. They actually sat down and had a conversation. So this is modern feminism versus traditionalism to a certain extent. And we're going to see how this actually goes down, man. I actually think from what I saw, the little parts that I did see, it was pretty interesting to see them go back and forth. And it was actually interesting to hear Andrew Tate's position on things. I'm not one of them Tate boys, we following Andrew Tate. I know a lot of dudes did that, they're doing all that crap for like, nah, bro, we don't get down like that. You say something that sound right and sound good, and it's the right thing, I can get behind you, but I ain't with all the bullshit that you do. But we're going to get into it, y'all. We're going to get into it. It was a very interesting conversation. The lady that promoted being sexual and, doing all that shit that at least I would tell y'all not to do, at least to my ladies, going up against Andrew Tate, who argues against it all the time and talks about masculinity and all that crap. So go ahead and get your popcorn, get your weed, get whatever you need. We about to get it popping. We about to get it started. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Should be interesting. I'm ready for it. I hope y'all ready for it. Let's get it, y'all.
You think of Bonnie Blue sleeping with 1,057 men?
How honest should I be out of 10?
11.
I want you to be honest.
You want to be honest?
Yeah, go on.
I don't understand why men sit here and try and lecture you about it. I don't understand why men sit here and say you shouldn't do it. It's your body, your choice, right? This is the world we now live in. This is the end result of feminism. You are the perfect end result of feminism. In the world I believe in the conservative, traditionally masculinely ruled world, a man would be in charge of his daughters until they're handed over to their husbands or boyfriends, and there would be a degree of masculine guidance. But feminism didn't want that. Women complained that men don't want to get married. We did actually want to get married when we got obedient virgins, but they disappeared, and they complained about the patriarchy, and they were tired of us giving them a house to live in and kids to raise, and they wanted to make their own choices. So she's making her own choice. That's a fantastic thing. I actually have a lot of respect for you because you own it and you're honest about it.
What if it was your daughter?
Well, that won't happen.
But she's her own person.
I never said my daughter's her own person. I said women want to be their own people. But my point is, there's so many women who go to Magaluf for a weekend and do something very similar, and then they come back to England and get with some guy and start asking for presents from him and talking about how they deserve a traditional relationship and they want to get married and they want a Christmas present and all this bullshit. Most women do exactly what Bonnie does. I don't see you any different than most women. And I'm not saying that in a degradation way.
Most women don't sleep with 1,057 men in a day.
1,000 doesn't fucking matter.
I think it does.
I don't really think it does.
So
it's all disgusting to me. If I met a woman and she said, I just sucked a dick yesterday, I'd say, well, I find you repulsive. I don't want to sleep with you. Goodbye.
What, so you're only going after virgins?
Well, it's not about only going after virgins, but I think if you're a straight man, the idea of having a bunch of men, a woman that you're with, is pretty repulsive.
But everyone has a past.
But see, this is the kind of fight people say. I don't know what's wrong with you people. Everyone has a past. That's not acceptable. In fact, let's analyze that. Everyone has a past. You're right. Everyone does have a past. It's true. But isn't the primary objective of a man to find a woman with as little past as possible? Would you argue that's one of the precursors to finding a wife? Considering that wives were supposed to be virgins. This was the deal. The reason I'm proud of Bonnie, and I am genuinely proud of you, I like Bonnie. I like what she's doing. Because the deal was...
Are you not like contradicting yourself?
In what way?
Well, you're proud of her sleeping with 1,057 guys, but women should be virgins.
No, I'm saying that the social contract, the construct of society that made family function was women were obedient virgins and they found a man who provided for them and they listened to that man. Women have then said, we don't like the patriarchy. We're tired of being provided for. We're tired of being taken care of. We don't want to listen to anybody. We want to make our own decisions. That was women and feminism that ended the traditional family unit. And now women can make their own decisions. So I'm glad that Bonnie's making her own decision.
Yeah, because people say I take women back 100 years. I'm like, no, I'm the clear example of how to be empowered. I use my body. I do what I want, when I want. And this is the thing you've been banging on about for years. And when I get hate, like when I click on the comments of these women that are like, oh, you're taking us back 100 years. Then in their bio, it says stay-at-home mom of two. I'm thinking, what was you rooting for?
That's
because
right.
you have just stayed
That's
at
right,
home.
Bonnie. See, this is the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comment I hear some people that argue against feminism, and it's really ladies that make that argument. You're taking us back 100 years. Well, if they took you back 100 years, you would be traditional. Like, this girl is everything but traditional. She's selling her pom pom, and she's proud of it. And she's yelling it from the mountaintop. She's gonna sleep with whoever she wants. She's gonna make as much money as she wants, and she doesn't care about anybody criticizing her. That's not taking you back. That's actually taking you forward. Going back would mean she wouldn't be doing any of that. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
This is the future. This is fantastic. It's exactly what Western society is headed to. So why are we going to sit here and pretend this is not? Why are we going to sit here and pretend that most women who go on girls' holidays aren't doing something similar to what Bonnie does, just because it's not on camera? Why are we going to sit here and pretend that these men who walk around with their wives in the pub in England, they're like, oh, my wife, yeah, everyone has a past. Oh, no, she's done the same shit. What's the difference? Who gives a right? We're either going to care and accept that women are judged on their past and judged on their innocence and judged on their naivety and judged on these things like it used to be, or we're going to sit and say it doesn't matter, everyone has a past. Well, if everyone has a past, everyone has a past. Who gives a? Does it really matter anymore?
What would you do if it was your daughter, though?
But why are you asking impossible questions?
Well, it's not an impossible question.
Of course it is.
How?
It can't happen.
But anything can happen.
It's against the laws of physics.
It's not.
I mean, if your daughter opened her legs and took 1,000 sticks, it's not impossible.
Of course it is.
What?
Why
I
is
mean,
it
the dicks would
impossible?
enter her body, therefore she's taken.
It's literally impossible for my daughter.
What, are you going to be there against your daughter? You're saying that's not entering it?
No, my daughter just wouldn't make that decision.
But why?
Because I still raise her in a household where she is masculinely guided, and she'll be guided by me until I hand her over to some other man. However, I believe when women are left to their own devices, they will only ever make stupid decisions.
Was mine a stupid decision?
I wouldn't say it's any more stupid than most decisions women make, to be honest with you. I think that most women, to some degree, are sex workers anyway. Like,
I mean, yeah.
let's be honest about it, right? Most women look at Miami or Dubai. What's your job? Oh, I've got a boyfriend. So your job is being a girlfriend. Why does he give you money? Because you give him sex. So most women are sex workers anyway, to be honest.
But isn't that what you said the family unit was?
Well, then you're a sex worker with one customer. You know, which is nice. I guess it's better. It's more efficient.
But what about if you're raising children? That's not sex work, is it?
No, that's being a mother.
Yeah.
All right, so that's interesting, Rob. Rob said this, not me. So they're either virgins, sex workers, or mothers. Are those the three categories?
I think you're putting words into my
I
mouth.
think that's what Rob just said. Those are the three categories.
I'm just sat in the middle.
And women have to choose to be one of them.
So is that what you think?
I think that when a woman becomes a mother, she has a purpose. And I think that women should be having children as soon as possible. And I think it gives their life a direction. And I think it's the most important thing to preserve society, especially if you want to talk about geopolitics and talk about race and all of these things. If you want to have a country that looks like the country it used to be, you need to have the original people from there having children. I think all of that is true. Absolutely. I think every day a woman goes without having kids is primarily a waste of time. But once again, what does it matter what I think? Rob, I've given up. Rob, I've given up trying to save the world. I've given up. No, Rob. I've given up.
Haven't.
I've given up on misogyny and all this shit.
You haven't.
They attacked me with the Matrix. They keep throwing me in jail. I am now all for women empowerment. I think women should run around with as many men as they want. I like what Bonnie's doing. She's getting the bag. She's getting rich. Most girls out here don't want to have kids. They just want to get Birkin bags and Instagram likes. Good. I'm a feminist, a pro-feminist.
I'm gonna just stop right here for a second, y'all.
I can't tell if he's serious, and that's very concerning.
It's very interesting to hear Andrew Tate say that because he is his whole stance is against this. Now, I don't know if he's being sarcastic or is he just saying like, look, it ain't no point in fighting. You want to do this? You want to ruin your life? You want to ruin society? Go ahead and do it. I'm not trying to save the world anymore. That's what it seemed like he's on. Like, actually, I don't know if he's serious or not about it, but I feel him because I sit around here and when we have these conversations about relationships and how men and women should conduct themselves, I agree more on his side than I would on the Bonnie Blue side. Like, you know, just be free and live yourself. Like when nobody said everybody has a past, he said, man, that's some shit white people say. It's like, that's normally who I hear say that shit. Now, it doesn't trickle down to a lot of other races and shit that say everybody has a past and shit, but that doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't excuse you from what you've done in your past. Yeah, everybody has a past. I'm 35 years old. I have a past. But if I did some messed up stuff in the past, that still can be held against me. And I should be judged for those things. A lot of people want to do what they want to do, and they don't want to be judged for it. And that's just never how the world has ever worked. We're all judged for our past, whether it's good or whether it's bad. But I feel him on where he's coming from because a traditional woman would usually be, and the three categories that they put up there are pretty much true. You're either going to be, what is it, a sex worker, forget the three he said. But most women are going to be one of the, I think really one of the two, man. Either you're going to be a hoe or you're going to be a wife. You gotta figure out which path you want to take. And we see the path that a lot of ladies are actually taking. They want to do whatever they want to do, but once that runs out, they always end up coming back full circle to what the traditional party is. But the problem is it's a little too late, and most guys aren't willing to accept that bullshit because we do find out about your past. So, you know, there's a lot of ladies that just got to make a decision. Like Bonnie Blue, I don't ever see her getting married, or at least not to a guy that men would respect. I don't see her getting married to a guy that other men respect. And shout out to Op in the building. He said, I agree with Tate. Look, I'm always going to be on the side of what's right. So I feel you on that. Let's keep going though.
Feminism. This is the world now. How the world's going to end up, who cares about the future?
See, women go around, use sex to their advantage, but then are happy to cry about it straight away. Saying, oh, he took advantage of me. And it's like, you're the one that wanted to do sex to have like the job promotion, or you're the one that wanted to have sex to get more attention or try and be more liked. But then they cry about it. And that's what I get frustrated about. And even with porn stars, like people in my industry, they'll do this for a few years, get the money, get the boob jobs, get the house. And then suddenly they go, oh my God, I was forced into the industry. Oh my God, someone took all my money.
Have you ever considered a job as a lawyer? Because I could do with you. You're 100% right. So this is the false dichotomy of society, right? So this is the reason when I said I like what Bonnie does, because Bonnie completely 100% owns what she does. And she says, it's my decision. And I've seen people try and lecture you. I've seen people sit there and try and lecture you and say like, oh, but you're a creature of God and you shouldn't be doing this. No, you should do whatever you want. Exactly. It's up to you to do whatever you want. And you're not saying anybody tricked you into it. It's your decision. And let's be honest, when they talk about taking women back 100 years, let's actually be very honest here, Ron. No disrespect.
No disrespect.
There's always...
It's the oldest profession.
Ancient Rome had... There's always been... The Aztecs had... You think there weren't concubines in the fucking Ming dynasty sucking little Chinese pee-pee? Of course there were. There's always been... It's the oldest profession in the world.
Exactly.
So do you think it's a legitimate job?
Well, I mean, no, check her bank. I'm sure she's making loads of money. So here's where do you draw the line? If we're going to live in this false dichotomy, because the world was very simple once, not too long ago. And men had this terrible misogynistic view, which I, of course, don't agree with, that women can't make their own decisions because they're naturally chaotic. And when women decide anything, life's up. In fact, these men, in their disgusting... These men in their disgusting misogyny believed if you gave women the vote, we'd end up with open borders and drag queen story hours. So they didn't give women the vote. Then they did give women the vote, and society took a particular direction. But when men were in charge of things, women didn't have to worry about what they can do with their life because their father took care of it and then their husband took care of it. But now we live in a brand new world where women can make all of their own decisions. And the path she's chosen, I don't think is any different than most paths women take. I think she's just more honest about it and more upfront about it. If you're going to go to Dubai and meet a girlfriend and you think she hasn't been for money the entire time she was living in Dubai, then you're an idiot. If you're in Miami and you got girls on your boat and you think they're not for money all of the time, now they may not say per hour, but they'll be a guy they barely like to get the rent paid, or they're a guy they barely like because he has a car.
Yeah.
So women are for money all the time anyway. That's all women do now. The entire Western world is women for money. So how hypocritical would it be for me to sit here and say, Bonnie, who's honest, who monetizes it directly with her own media empire, who's upfront about it and makes money from it, is a worse person than the girl who walks around like she's goody two-shoes and then sucks in a Magaluf toilet? Because that's what most girls are doing anyway. Mm-hmm. Rob, the world's... They're all like this. Rob, they're all the same.
Are you trying to say I'm not special now?
No, I'm saying you're special, actually, because you've gone so far through. You've come out as the queen of it. Congratulations.
Yeah. But didn't you say this kind of thing is the demise of Western society?
I mean, if I was a misogynist, I would believe this is the final end result of feminism, and the end times are here, and that nobody's going to have kids anymore, and that the idea of a beautiful marriage between a man and a woman is now completely gone. I mean, if I was a disgusting misogynist, but since they keep...
But you don't have one beautiful marriage, do you?
No, I don't.
Y'all see how Andrew's shaping it? And it's real interesting the way he's doing it. He's saying it in a position that he's not in that position, but that's what it is. Like, he believes, dude, it's a problem in society. It's a problem in society when women are going out here being whores. Like we cannot. It's all right. If more ladies were like Bonnie and just were opening up front, that would be a lot different. But the problem that we have is a lot of ladies want to do what Bonnie is doing. They want to go around and do whatever they want. They want to have sex with as many guys as they want. They want to be as lewd and provocative as they want to. But after that shit runs out, they also want to be able to come back and find a man that will take care of them. Marry them, treat them like a wife, and take care of them. That's the problem. That's the real problem. I would get behind, like, ladies, y'all do whatever the hell y'all want to do. Just do not complain don't complain at the end of the road after you done did all this bullshit. We say it all the time over here, man. Look, I don't care about you doing whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. Just don't come back bitching about it. Just don't come back bitching about it. And a lot of ladies do that. And that's why I have a real issue with the nonsense. It's like, look, you got 4 baby daddies you got 4 baby daddies, you got 5 kids. But you want a dude to come in and make $100,000, be 6 feet tall. You done disqualified yourself. Don't complain when we tell you that you disqualified. Be like Bonnie. Accept it and roll with it. Just roll with it. I'm making this decision and I'm ready to ride and die with everything that comes from it. If you can do that, all thumbs up to you. Because everybody gonna live their life and everybody gonna do what they want to do. They are gonna do it. But that complaining and making excuses, and then men like him, the guy in the middle, kind of, I don't know if he really there yet or not, but he seemed to kind of try to make excuses for that bad behavior. No, man, they grown-ups. They strong and independent women. Stand in that. That's why I have no sympathy for people that do this type of shit. And Andrew saying a lot of women do this. A lot of women do. They sell pussy. So a lot of folks' grandma was selling pussy to get that light bill paid. Like, let's be real about it. Just don't act like you ain't what you are. Be real. 100. 10 toes. Come on now, let's keep going.
No, I don't.
Have you slept with 1,057 women?
At least.
So are you quite similar?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it's the male's prerogative to impregnate as many females as possible. This is the masculine prerogative. This is biologically my prerogative is to do that.
I think we should do a breeding competition. We'll see if you can get a girl pregnant quicker than I can get pregnant.
Well, I mean,
that's not even a good competition, Bonnie. Shut up. Stop talking. And I was actually having a conversation with somebody earlier today. And this somewhat similar to this subject came up. It's not the same. Like I hear a lot of people, especially when I talk to other dudes and shit about this. They're like, oh, well, you had sex with a whole bunch of motherfuckers. Why you judging her? It's not the fucking same. It's not the same for a guy to have sex with 10 girls and a girl to have sex with 10 guys. Doing the easy thing does not get you championed. It does not get you honored, held up in front of people like, look at this. She slept with 10 guys. Walk outside, get to the mall and just say, I'll sleep with the first 10 dudes that come and holler at me. I bet you 10 dudes will walk up and smash you. That's not hard. Now let a dude go out there and say, I'll sleep with the first 10 women that come up to me. Bitches gonna be looking at him like he crazy. Like, ugh, what the fuck wrong with him? It's easier for women to get sex. So when you get sex, that's nothing to brag about. It's something that's easy. Now, if a man can get sex from 10 women, obviously he has something going on about himself. That's why women still line up to have sex with Future. Why they line up to be Nick Cannon's next baby mama. Because there's something powerful about what is it about this man that has women running to him? It's more difficult for a guy to get sex than it is for a woman. So when a woman does it a lot, it's kind of like you just reckless with the poom poom. Don't nobody respect that. We're not the same, man. We are not the same.
Yeah, good competition. I think I'd win. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, but it's interesting because you have to look at society. When you look at these things, you have to look at society from an animalistic perspective and a societal perspective. From the animalistic perspective, it is the masculine imperative to get as many women as possible pregnant. Yeah, but if you want to be purely
it's
animalistic,
not 1,512.
No, but let's be purely animalistic. Let's talk.
It's still in our genetic DNA. And especially for people that say they're religious, the Lord said, go forth and populate. It's in our genetic DNA to populate as many women as possible. If it came down to saving the human race, that's what men would have to do. Women are supposed to just get with one guy. You're supposed to search for the best guy that could possibly give you the best life and protection. Women are supposed to search for that one. We out here looking for everything. We supposed to. It's in our genetic DNA to fucking populate. That's why we can have multiple kids. We can have Genghis Khan. I don't know how many kids he had total. They said probably all over like a couple thousands, maybe tens of thousands. How many he had? That man could keep knocking them up. When y'all get pregnant, you don't hold that child for 9 months, and then you can start the cycle over again after that thing got to recover. You got to open wide and let the baby come out. You got to recover that, and then you can get back into it. And that dude can go day after 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 day. That's just the way we were designed. Like that, people can't get mad at how we're designed. Like, man, blame your creator. Don't come at me about that shit.
Talk about this like professional. If a man is high value, high testosterone, alpha male, whatever you want to call it, right? His imperative is to impregnate women. And he wants to take care of those women and take care of those kids. He's not overly interested in the kids. It doesn't mean he doesn't love them. It means he doesn't want to sit there and play with them all day. When you see a man who wants to play with a baby all day, that man is probably gay. It's boring.
Well, it doesn't mean he wants a kid.
No, he's gay. He's gay. So real men just want to pregnant, money, cool. See you an hour a week. Boom, boom, boom. Now, there's a lot of men who are going to disagree with me on that, but those are a lot of men I can beat it out. So I don't give a that's the truth of it. The female imperative is to find a man who's obsessed with her so that when she gets pregnant, she's going to have protection and provision when she's not capable of looking after herself. That is the female biological imperative and the masculine biological imperative. I'm still living to my biological imperative to some degree. If I were to, let's say, have 4 or 5 women and I had kids with 4 or 5 women and I took care of 4 or 5 women and I was with all of them and they were exclusively only with.
See, and got Oppie in the building. He said, Actually, it's the father's duty to search for the best guy for his daughter. That's why females are fucking up. They want the best D. Look, back in the olden times, the father would look, man. We had people that were married off to folks. Like you're marrying fucking Prince Charles's son. You're marrying that the dairy farmer's son. Like that, like fathers would pick the guy that the girl got with. But we've slowly over time gotten away from that, and we see the outcomes of these families now. Because women are making their own decisions when it comes to the guys they're dating. And for ladies, any lady that come around here, look, I'm not saying that y'all shouldn't be able to do what y'all want to do, because I can't change that shit. Now, if it were in the perfect world that I would create, you wouldn't be making that decision. If your father ain't there, your brothers will help pick the next dude that you fucking with. But we don't live in that world. So I ain't telling you can't fucking pick who the fuck you want to be with. Obviously, y'all doing that right now. That's why a lot of y'all got a lot of baby daddies. And a lot of y'all ain't got no rings. Because you make terrible decisions. And it ain't being an asshole to say that. Just look at the result of women nowadays. The proof is in the pudding. But yeah, that is correct. That's how it used to be. It ain't like that no more for sure. Unfortunately.
With me, and we had children over and over and over again. That's my biological imperative. It's actually against the female biological imperative to do what Bonnie is doing, I would argue. Traditionally. But that means you break paradigms. That's great. But feminism and society and this brand new societal conditioning is convincing women that what they're supposed to do, which is find a man they love and be obsessed with him and get pregnant from him, is the wrong thing to do. Well, then let's all just become sex workers now.
But you disagree with that feminist problem.
I don't have an opinion, Rob, because I have 14 criminal cases. I don't have an opinion. I'm just here. I'm a commentator. I'm just commentating.
Commentators have opinions.
I don't have an opinion. No, I don't have an opinion. Women can do whatever they want. Women are fantastic. We live in this great society now where women are girl bosses and better than us, while also are equals at everything, while also everything they do they regret was a man's fault somehow, as Bonnie described. They were tricked into it. So we live in this impossible situation where a man can't possibly win anyway, no matter what opinion he has. But I'm just saying it would be unprofessional and hypocritical of me to sit here and think that Bonnie is doing anything different or anything bad or anything wrong when she does the same thing 99.9% of Western women do anyway.
Okay, so Bonnie,
you get one extreme to the next.
And that's one point that I think a lot of people need to catch on to. A lot of women in Western society are doing the exact same thing she's doing. They're just not as loud about it. That's why you hear like the older ladies, when they give advice to these young girls, they know these young girls gonna go out here and do the whole shit. They know they are. They be telling them just, look, make sure don't nobody know about it. Like, keep it quiet. Be classy about it. We know you're going to go suck some dick. We know you're going to be fucking in the back of a car. Just be classy about it. Don't let that shit get out. That's the old lady advice to the young girls, not to not do it. Because they know they're going to do it. They just tell them, don't be out in the open with the shit. Bonnie is out in the open with it. And majority of the ladies out here right now, they're doing what Bonnie does. They try to keep it quiet. So I feel Andrew on it. It's a little cynical to have that point of view, but it's true when you really think about it. Because all of this shit is transactional anyways.
You get the women like me that are just nuts, and then you get the others that are lazy and won't even get on their knees and give a blowjob.
And there's sluts too. No, but that's the thing. There's too. They're sluts for a different guy, or they're for their ex, and they're not for the new guy. These women are sluts too. It's all the same.
Like, I used to be a full service sex worker, like an escort, and I used to judge men that cheated. And then when I actually started speaking to these men, I was like, you know what? They've got a point. They're going to work. They're looking after their kids. They're still emptying the dishes because the wife's now refusing to do that, saying it should be equal. And then I say, well, when's the last time she gave you a blowjob? When's the last time she f***ed you? They couldn't name it. They couldn't even list the amount of times where they've had sexual intercourse. I'm like, of course you're going to need that. Of course you're going to cheat. So how can I ever say women are anything but lazy and poorly educated?
So do you think you're a good...
Now y'all heard what Bonnie said. Take that in, ladies. Take that in, because y'all know if a dude said that, people be losing their motherfucking mind. She said when she was out there doing that full service sex work, she talked to these married men. It's like their wife stays at home, he pays all the bills, and now she's over here, I ain't washing the dishes no more. It needs to be equal. So he's washing dishes too after he's taking care of everything for the house. Can't even get his dick sucked. Yeah, the man's gonna go cheat. And I ain't gonna say most dudes cheat for that reason, because some dudes just can't control themselves. Like some dudes just little horn dogs, and I see them all the time. I'm like, man, bro, control yourself. That's just disgusting to me. A dude that just wants to fuck everything he sees. That's disgusting to me. But for a dude that's in a relationship like that and he ain't getting what he want, my first rule, I have to tell you to leave. But I know a lot of dudes cheat on their girl because of that. They don't want to leave their girl. They don't want to leave their wife. They love her, but she's not giving him what he needs. And guys definitely need sex. That's a driving force to keep us going. We need to fuck something. That's why you see the guys that don't be getting no pussy. They be out here shooting up shit. Dudes need some pussy. Like it's just standard for us. Like you need to recharge this battery. But y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Some of these dudes, they do cheat for that reason, man. And we can't ignore that. And Bonnie's actually pointing it out. So shout out to her for pointing it out, because if a dude said that shit, motherfuckers would lose their goddamn mind. Oh, you're just making excuses. It's like, no, it's just the reality of what's going on. And see, I said that's what we should consider is why men cheat on their wives and why they divorce men who cheat. They ain't getting no ass. Real shit. Man, when women start doing that mutiny shit once they get married, man, like, bro, that a dude's in a terrible position and that's why a lot of dudes advocate against marriage. Like, I'm one of the people that are kind of against marriage in Western society, getting married, going into a contract with the state. Because you can marry a girl, she'll be all good and gravy, and y'all get married, and women start getting tired and getting bored and shit, and they start doing whatever the fuck they want. And if this marriage dissolves, bitch, you gonna get fucked. She can go cheat on you. And she's still gonna take half your shit. That's not a good deal for a lot of dudes. Your wife won't give you some pussy, man. What you gonna do? You stuck. If you leave, she's gonna take half your shit. It's like a lot of dudes don't want to deal with that shit. So a lot of guys out here suffering in silence, man. They in marriages and they suffering in silence. All because you don't need to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Role model for women.
I'm a clear example of what women have fought for years. Of
what?
Taking control of your body.
Correct.
Being independent. I earn my own money. I don't rely on a guy. I'm
Girl
paid
power.
Exactly. I'm paid more than other
100%,
guys.
100%.
Do you think
She is a clear example of what women have been fighting for years? Absolutely correct.
And now
I'm not going to
they're
sit here and
crying.
lecture you about God. I'm not going to sit here. No, that's all. She is a clear example of what women have been fighting for years.
Yeah.
Women believe that they can do whatever they want.
Do you think they should be able to?
Listen, brother, I have 14 criminal cases. I don't want to be called a misogynist by the BBC. That would break my heart. That's not up to me. We're all individual sovereign people, and we make our own decisions. If women want to run around and do whatever they want to do, it's up to them. My point is, all women, on some scale, are doing what Bonnie Blue is doing. However, Bonnie Blue is just the best at it. She's the best. She's the queen of it. So why? It's
not all women are doing.
Let me ask you a question. If a man walks into Starbucks and steals a chocolate bar, he's a thief. Yeah, correct.
Not in London.
Well,
it's legal.
Yeah. And if a banker manages to liquidate a ton of stock illegally in the stock market or rip off a bunch of people with a false investment fund, whatever it is, he's a thief, right? The morality is the same, whether you're stealing from the Wall Street or you're stealing from Starbucks. The morality of it is the same. But people will sit there and argue that the banker is somehow worse than the guy who stole the chocolate bar because of how much he stole. I wouldn't argue there's a difference in morality. There's a difference in capability, but the morality is the same. The banker's just smarter.
I'm just a clever.
You're just very good. She is very good at what she's decided to do. If you're going to be and most women watching this, and most men, hello, your wife, yeah, her, they're all anyway. If you're going to be no disrespect, you may as well be fucking good at it. Get a media empire, get rich, let everyone know your name, and get paid. Why are you going out to the pub, getting drunk, and meeting a man who's funny, and getting in a toilet for free? Are you dumb?
They are, though. Women are stupid.
They're stupid. So Bonnie's just the smartest. She's the Wall Street banker of this whole shit. I respect that much more than these other girls. Rob, I grew up in Luton, England, bro. You think I don't know? You think I haven't seen it? You think I haven't walked in the toilet and some bitch has got 5 dudes hanging out of her? This is the Western world. This is feminism. This is what all you white boys wanted. All you white men listening to women all the time. Women get to opinions all of a sudden. This is what you built. Congratulations.
So you blame men?
Well, 100% I blame men, because everything's men's fault, because men are the only ones who can apply force to scenario. Women can't apply force. Men apply force. If there's something we don't like, we apply force to the situation. We could force this away. We could force most things away. So everything's absolutely men's fault. And this came from, the feminism and the women's sexualization and the liberation, a lot of it came from beta males hoping to get some. That's what it came from. A bunch of weak men, though. If we told girls to be, I might get a little bit. Because the natural order of the universe is the big gorilla, top G, smart. I'm smart. The big gorilla, top G, has a bunch of women, and then the small gorilla has nothing. This is the natural order of the universe. It's actually kind of still like that in many ways. There's a guy with the yacht with 10 wives, and then there's a guy with no yacht with no wife. It's kind of like that. But beta males didn't like that because they couldn't obviously compete with the top guy. So they've tried to push this sexual liberation, hoping to get a little bit, probably works a little bit. But society's destroyed by extension. If you want to look at society.
And look, I'll say that's on both sides, the men and the women. The beta dudes, the weak ass, soft ass dudes that got the power, they pushed a lot of this feminism shit. They got behind the women marching it. Yeah. And I bet it probably was a little bit because they want to try to get some pussy too. And then you got the women on the other side, the ugly bitches. Because y'all know we got ugly bitches that are women. All y'all ain't 10s and none of that shit. We got some ugly bitches, some fat bitches that talked about all this shit should be fair and equal and we should be able to do whatever the fuck so they can compete with the pretty girls. They wanted to bring the pretty girls down, let the pretty girls go out here and sleep with 12 dudes. It made me look a little bit better. I know I'm a little ugly. I know I'm a little out of shape. But look, she done slept with like 15 dudes. I'm a virgin. That virgin look a lot more attractive to a dude than the girl that slept with 10 motherfucking dudes. Sabotage on both sides. On both sides. Men done did it to other men and women do it to women. We see it all the time. That's why girls tell other girls, go out there and do whatever you want, because they don't want to be viewed as they did something wrong. So now if I get all the rest of y'all do something wrong, I feel better about myself. Levels the playing field for me. She's a whore too, so what's the problem? It's crazy how we sabotage each other.
Society for what it is, because what is society anything other than rearing and raising children? That's what society should be, I would argue. Society should be, the primary function of it should be, let's have kids so that we have a population. We have a population collapse in the West.
Yeah, I think we should have a choice. Like, I before used to think, oh my God, I really want kids, I want a family. But it's because I was so naive to what else was open to the world. I just thought, okay, I need to get married, I need to, have children, I need to get a good job. And that was what I thought life.
Remember, y'all, it's crazy. This lady right here that made all this money from sleeping with dudes. She don't even look good like that. She's a basic woman. I think a woman was going a little too far. She's a basic chick. Like, there's nothing like, oh my God, I would get on one knee and drink her bath water. None of that. Nothing about the way she looks. She's a basic UK chick. Literally. Look at her. Basic. Give about a 4. I mean, from knowing her past, she can get a real low number, but she's an average looking chick.
And then I was like, there's so much more to life rather than just staying in that, finishing school, going to uni, getting married, buying a house. And you just copy everyone else. Like, half we do is because someone else has done it.
Okay, Bonnie, so let me ask you a question. I agree with you that now that we've opened up female horizons with education, with jobs, with the capability of making money, with Instagram and all these offers they get to fly around the world and all these things, women don't want to have kids, or they want to have kids later because they have a lot more options. I agree with you. But would you argue, if you were to look at it selflessly, not about the ant, but about the ant farm at large, that keeping women's horizons more narrow so they focused on rearing children would be better for society than the current society we're in, where we have to import a whole bunch of knows who's into the country to try and maintain a population because the white people aren't even having any kids because the white women are too busy sucking some Magaloo?
Did you understand that?
To a certain degree, but I also couldn't give a the world's going to shit anyway. So whether or not we've got more kids in it or not, it's regardless. So just live your.
And this is why men have to lead. If you want to have a society, men have to lead. She has a nihilist mindset. And that's a problem. She doesn't care about anybody else. She doesn't care about society as a whole. And that's the problem. A lot of men have to take that on. They got to realize that is our job to keep this society going. Because if you leave it up to people that think like Bonnie, you're going to be in the situation where you are right now. White people birth rates are declining in America. In all the Western countries. It's declining. They're worried about going extinct, y'all. I'm being dead serious. I think they say about 2035 or something like that, white people will be a minority in America. Not like they're going to have the lowest rate of people, but their combined rate, their population amount will not be greater than everybody else. They'll finally be underneath everybody else in the grand scheme, because it's always been white people versus everybody else in America, all the other different races. Well, they're coming up on being 49%, 48%, all because of this mindset right here. And it's going to be on men to change that. That's why they did the whole thing with no abortions. It's like, we ain't letting y'all have no abortions no more, man. We're going to try to restrict that as much as possible because we need y'all to have kids. I don't care if y'all don't want to have kids. If you don't, we're going to be a minority. And they always fear that the other people, the other groups of people that they've been fucking over for a long time are going to do to them what they did to them. But, if you want to have your society, you want to have your race, you're going to have kids. And she doesn't care. She's a nihilist. She don't care. It's just all about me, 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 me. And she's proven the point. And that's the one good thing about it. She's honest. She's honest about it. It's fucked up, but she's honest.
Your life the best. You're going to be dead in however many years anyway.
Fair.
So don't stress too much.
Fair. And this is what I like about Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is my favorite. This is my favorite everything. Fair. Because what you just said, I understand and I agree with.
But it's selfish.
Yeah. But what have I said?
Why should I not be selfish? Why should I give a shit about someone else that pays less tax than me, has, sits and complains, makes shitty TikToks, but I'm like, I couldn't give a shit if your life's going by the looks of it. You live in a council house, you've got a couple of kids with different dads. I don't care. So why should I sit there and think I should do something to help you? I don't care. I should focus on myself. And if more people did that, the world would actually be a better place. But they become so fixated on other people. I'm like, where's your life? Why are you not focusing on yourself? Like, look in the mirror, you're fat. Go and do something about it. Your teeth have that much plaque on it. Like, you're fucked. Like, there's no way out for you.
No, but what
Is this a good role model?
No, yes, because no, but what Bonnie's saying is important here, and it's not about what she's saying. It's about the general attitude. Because what I want to make clear, the reason society was run by men for so long is that men have a different biological instinct to women, and we're prepared to suffer for the greater good. Women are not very good at suffering. Men are good sufferers.
Look back at the wars. There's so much evidence of it.
Well, of course. And also, let's just look at the normal family. You talked about these men who come and see you, right?
Yeah.
But happy wife, happy life is true. And the reason it's true is because if the wife is unhappy, everyone's miserable because she'll make sure of it. But if the man's unhappy, everyone else can be happy. He'll suffer. He'll sit with no sex. He'll go to work every day.
Yeah.
He won't see his friends. He'll be miserable. He'll be depressed. He'll still pay the bills. He'll still pay the taxes. And everyone else gets to be happy. Men are good at suffering. Women are spiteful sufferers. And for that reason, they struggle to do anything. They struggle to suffer themselves for any greater good. Men have always died for a greater good. Men have always said, this is bad for me, but it's good for society. Bonnie just quite correctly, quite pertinently highlighted the fact that she believes in living her life the best way that she wants to live so she is happy. And I agree with you. That's what you should do. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're a woman. That's how women think. Women don't think I shouldn't do this because I care about society by and large. Women don't think that way. And once you understand that logic, you can extrapolate that out to the fact that women shouldn't be in charge of a country ever, because women are not prepared to take a bullet for a country ever.
I mean, I guess I contradict myself a little bit because I help society out a lot. And I do that because do you see how many dicks I drain? How many balls I've been emptied out on my face? How many pies I've taken and scooped it out? Like,
And how does that help?
It's good to be alone for a minute in the confession room. Niggas is wildin'!
At least she honest, man. It's nasty, but at least she's honest.
Society.
sex workers help like reduce rates by over 30%.
That sounds like a stat you just made up.
No, Google it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Mental health, it's good for mental health as well.
The true fact is 32%.
Yeah, stops men killing themselves. Sex work is an important part of the world.
So much.
I'm gonna tell you this though. Once we in Western countries legalize prostitution, it's gonna suck for a lot of ladies, man. Because a lot of ladies are gonna jump into it. They already, as soon as they put OnlyFans out there, they just jump right into that OnlyFans. Everybody want to make an OF. Everybody want to make an OF. It's like, look, it's gonna suck for them in the long run. Like, they think it sucks for guys. They're talking about, oh, guys can't get, but guys can go pay for some pussy if it come down to it. They already can do that underneath the, like, against the law. They can go ahead and do that. And most of these transactions, anyways, between men and women, is sex work, anyways, to a certain extent, depending on how you look at it. But once they legalize it, it's gonna be downhill for ladies, and ladies are the main ones advocating for them to legalize it. So, like, look, man, dudes, if dudes can get to the point where they can go to work and work their 40 plus hours, grind, get their crib, get their car, be straight, just pay a chick to come through and suck them up, top them up real quick, like, or get them some pussy real quick, like, and send her on her way. A lot of dudes will sign up for that. A lot of dudes, I'll say majority of dudes will sign up for that. There are dudes out here that want family and all that stuff, but there are dudes that will be perfectly fine with just paying for some pussy and going about their business. I know a lot of them dudes. I'm gonna take care of what I gotta take care of and handle my own. And when I need to get some pussy, I'm just call her Susan, throw a couple $100, and then we gone. She gone by the business. I'm going back doing what I'm doing. Like, a lot of dudes are comfortable with that situation.
Imagine, like, if you're
Are you
a
saying that
rapist.
because you had a webcam business?
I'm not saying that because I had a webcam business. I'm saying that because it's absolutely and utterly true. The only point I was making earlier about women being in charge, I was actually trying to get to a final point. And the final point I would argue is that Bonnie has done no damage to society compared to giving the women a vote.
I've basically been a community worker.
Absolutely.
For example,
do you vote?
No, to be honest, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so do you vote?
No.
Okay, she's perfect. she's out here. She's sucking.
I am
dick.
wife material.
She's sucking. She's not voting. This is the kind of women we need. This is done. This is fine. If we stop women, we take the women's vote away. If you said to me, Andrew, fix society, all the women can either vote or be like Bonnie. I'd like make them all like Bonnie. Give the men the vote back. We'll fix all the
Even
women.
your daughter.
Yeah. Why would she need to vote? I'm voting. Why would she need to vote when I'm voting? You're gonna vote against your father. What kind of world is that? You know, it's really interesting to me. Since I had daughters, and I have a bunch, people always say, when you get a daughter, you're going to change your opinions. No, I didn't. When you have a daughter, you know, you see these dudes and they have a daughter and like the daughter's putting makeup on and they're like, girl dad. Just because you have a girl doesn't mean you become gay.
I think that's cute though.
No, but no, I'm never going to put, she's never going to put makeup on my face. I'm never going to be like, oh, my daughter wants, so I guess I just
sound like a farmer when you say
she
that.
melts my heart. No, you're going to obey me because I am your parent and you are my child. My child can't vote against me ever. That's civil war. That's against the rules that's against the just working of the universe, sir. For me to have a certain opinion and my own offspring to have countering opinion. I'm going to be sitting at some fucking dinner table in 20 years, and my daughter or my sons, any of them, are going to be there arguing with me about anything. Actually, in school, I learned, you better shut the fuck up. Because because you're in my fucking house, my mansion. It's the Tate millions. You're living on my money. You're gonna do as I fucking say.
Until they're 18 or they move out.
Until, if they want to completely cut me off and build their own version of life, I guess they could do that, but they won't do that. That's impossible.
It's how you bring them up. Like when they're 18, yes, they're an adult, but it's how you brought them up.
Of course.
Like my parents brought me up.
Do you have kids though?
No, I don't.
No.
But like my parents, I mean, everyone says my parents can't love me, my family must have disowned me. It's not the case. My family brought me up to be independent and live my best life, how I want to live. And as much as people think that is so shameful, that's disgusting, like my life's become so much better and I'm happy. As much as people think I should be scarred, should kill myself and everything else, it's like, I am happy. I genuinely live a much better life. So my family are nothing but proud of me. So
Are you really happy?
Really, really happy.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
She thinks she's happy, and that's what I'm telling y'all. And it happens every time. It's gonna run out. This little hot streak's gonna run out. Eventually, she's gonna get lonely. Eventually, she's gonna look back and be like, "Why don't I have kids? Why don't I have a husband?" And when you look at your past and how you've been publicly open about it, dudes are not gonna be lining up, especially not dudes of any type of standing, are not gonna be lining up to want to come in and take that on. It's just a simple fact. She's gonna run the same risk. Well, she's gonna go down the same path that a lot of other ladies went down. Vivica Fox. We see her all the time. She on there talking shit about dudes, crying. I ain't got no kids. I'll fit this shit with my greatest love. All that bullshit. She wanted to do whatever the hell she wanted to do when she was hot and young. Played her cards too long. Didn't settle down. Didn't cash out at the bank. Didn't cash out at the casino. And now she's sitting around here looking stupid. Bonnie, all women come to that point. Once you start aging up, you start really valuing things that you didn't value when you were younger. So when you're young, you think you're going to live forever and nothing's ever going to change. And people going to start dropping around you and you're going to start to become that person that they were. You're going to be in their position and you're going to be looking around. It's like, man, I ain't got no family. I ain't got no friends. I just can't get a man because they know about my past. I'm plastered all over the internet. That ain't never going away. She's going to end up going down the same path. I can guarantee it. But look, this is the choice that a lot of ladies make. I know a lot of women walking around right now that will never get married. Never get married. And they claim they don't care. They're going to keep doing what they want to do. Here about 5 years. They're going to be over here crying, losing their mind. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do.
When you're alone, you're happy.
She's not voting. She's great. This is what we need. Do you want to be prime minister or not really?
No.
See? Done, bro. This is it. This is what we need in society. Honest about their sex work, because all women out here are sex working anyway. When's the last? You've been in Dubai recently.
Yeah.
Find a woman who ain't sex working. That is a challenge, sir. $1 million to find a woman who ain't living off a man, because that is sex work. You giving sex and she's giving you money. That's the game. I tweeted.
It's actually so true. I've never thought of it like that.
I tweeted this.
When people are boyfriend and girlfriends,
It's
majority
sex
of
work.
the time they do a low-paid job, not got the education to do anything better. So, and they're having sex with the partners, keep them interested. The partner's paying the bills. It's a sex work with one client. just like you said.
100%. I said this. I tweeted it, and the whole world lost its mind because you know me. I'm a provocateur. But I said, yeah, women are sex workers. You can either have a bunch of customers with OnlyFans, or you can have one customer called a husband or boyfriend. Or you can be ugly, and unfortunately, then you got to get a job. But if you're pretty enough, you don't do that. You find a boyfriend, or a husband, or a sugar daddy, whatever you want to call him, and he's paying your bills. Go to Saint-Tropez, Monaco, Cannes, go to Miami, go to Dubai, go to Hong Kong, go to any of these cities and find a beautiful woman and ask her job. She either doesn't work, because her boyfriend takes care of her, or she has some bullshit vanity project which loses money that her husband pays for. Owns a flower shop that loses money each month. Great. Businesswoman. Independent. Bullshit. Women have only ever been sex workers. Women have only ever translated their to money, or to provision, or into protection. That's all women have ever done. Let's talk about the ancient days. When the ancient...
I know some people gonna come in and say, man, that's crazy. But look, truly think about it. People don't like the truth. Women's leverage that pussy. They've been leveraging that pussy for a long time. It's just levels to the shit. You view a woman differently depending on the way she leveraged that pussy. If she just like Bonnie out here just selling pussy to get money and get fame, don't nobody value that shit. Dudes might want to come smash her because they think she's easy and they have watched her before, but that ain't something that dudes are signing up for to put a ring on. But women have always leveraged pussy, like he said, for protection, for what all the things he said. He ain't lying. Either way, though.
Whoever's, the tribe got conquered by another tribe. You're sitting around, there's 100 men, there's 100 women, the 100 men go out to war, they lose, the conquering tribe comes and takes over the ground, takes over the women. What do the women do? Here's some, don't kill me, please.
It's not 1,500 anymore.
No, but it doesn't matter. That's what that's all they've ever done. And I'm telling you now, you know, you watch Hunger Games and there's Katniss Evergreen running over shift and bow and arrow. When World War III finally comes, you're just going to see a whole bunch of women hooking. That's all they're going to do. They're like, shit, World War III, I need money. I need a man who can protect me. Here's some anyone?
I would have.
Oh, look, and for the people that say that's not true, look at what happened in Ukraine. They made all the men stay in Ukraine, made them stay and fight. The women, you can see them on the internet. They're over in France, over in Spain, over there twerking up, fucking got a whole new dude and shit. Just ran away from the responsibility of fighting for your own goddamn country. Now, fucking, I'm gonna go sell this pussy over here. I ain't fucking dealing with that. I ain't dealing with that. That's what the women did.
Hitler to survive.
Of course. Women don't want to survive. Look at France in World War II. You hear about the war brides? They all had their heads shaved. You know about this? Oh, you didn't know. I'll tell you. The Nazis kicked out of all the French. Then the Nazi soldiers turned up to Paris. Nazi soldiers have money. Average French man, he either lost in war, lost a leg, and has no money. He's a brokey. The Nazi guy, he's got money. He's got the German Deutschmark. He's got a nice uniform. He's a winner. All the French women were fucking the Nazis. They killed their husband. They're fucking the next guy a year later. Why? Because he can provide, he can protect. They give him status. They get to go out and party. They all had their heads shaved afterwards once the Americans kicked the Germans out of France.
I would have been bold straight away.
Well, there you go. This is what women do. Women say, okay, let me look at the world. I'm not as strong as a man. I'm not as determined as a man. I'm not as intelligent as a man. I can't do any of these things men can do. What's the one differentiator I have? So let me turn my into what I want. That's not a bad thing. That's just understanding the world, right?
Do you think this is a positive message for society?
I'm not here giving any messages. I am a commentator, sir.
I say it's factual.
I'm a commentator, sir. I see I'm not playing football. I'm commentating on the game. That's all I'm doing.
And people are listening to you.
Well, they're listening to me commentate. I'm telling everyone how it works.
Everything we've said you'd learn in history at school. Everything we're saying is factual. It's
what,
we're not
what
just
would you
saying,
learn in history at school about?
Well, I didn't really listen too much at school, but yeah, I learned at school that people had their head shaved.
Yeah.
Like you learn about what happened at the war, and that happened. That's factual. You didn't ever learn at school, oh, the women went to war. No, of course you didn't. They stayed at home. They cooked. They had the house ready. Like so, it stayed the same. Everything we're saying is factual.
Yeah, like Rob, what have I said that's incorrect? And the reason I'm saying all these things is to highlight how it's awfully hypocritical for anybody in modern Western society, anybody who believes in women's liberation, anyone who believes women should be allowed to vote, anyone who believes in women are allowed to lead a country, anyone who listens to their wife's stupid opinions on anything, to give Bonnie a second of hard time. Just because it's all the same thought pattern. It's all the same thought process. If you're a man who says, I have a wife and we got married when she was a virgin and she doesn't vote and she obeys me absolutely and I'm the king of this household, then maybe you could have an opinion. But if you're going to sit there and go, oh, my wife has a past, but I love her anyway, then shut the f. And that's 99% of men. Bro, do you understand that about 3 times a week, I see a woman I've plowed get married on Instagram? Do you understand? I see it. I see the man walking down the aisle holding her hand, doing the whole humiliation ritual. I see the whole thing. He got on one knee. And I just watched it. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though.
No, but there is.
But why? Like,
because I know what happened that night.
But people
so it is.
Well, aren't you under investigation?
No. And see, this one thing she's talking about that. Why? That ain't. You're not a man. I can go and poll. I can poll. I don't care how many people, how many dudes, and ask them, would they be embarrassed if they're in a relationship with a girl and they're out in public, and next thing you know, you hear the dudes in the corner talking about how they ran a train on your girl. You will be embarrassed. You're gonna look at your girl and be like, yuck. Most dudes ain't gonna be like, oh, well, everybody has a past. Like, nah, bro, you don't want to have that in your mind that your girl is a hoe. I do a poll. Bonnie, like, you don't understand. Like, if you hear about the guy fucking a whole bunch of different girls, you be like, oh, shit, why? What? He must be some guy going, he got something going on over there. I need to see what it is. I need to find out for myself. You get turned on by hearing about that shit. We get disgusted by hearing that shit about our girls. And like, look, I'm gonna have to put a poll up, man. I'm gonna have to put a poll up, man. Would you be disgusted if you found out your girl slept with 10 dudes or got a train ran on her? And I bet money, most dudes gonna say, hell yeah. And then you gonna have the simps come in and say, no. Matter of fact, I do need to put that poll up, yeah, because I want to see how many dudes are simps out here.
And for things like that.
But the point is this. If that man's gonna go, everyone has a past, then who is he to comment on anything else? Because her past was me, sir.
So are all of your girlfriends virgins before you?
Well, here's where you have to, as a man, do your best to find a woman, if you want to take her seriously, with as little history as possible, if that's the kind of thing that bothers you.
Does it bother you?
Well, it depends.
I mean, surely your best place to go then is high school.
Well, we have to be careful. I'm under investigation here. But it depends because there's different categories of women, right? Everything in life is actually fine if you keep everything in the right place. If you use a fork for forking and a spoon for spooning. Everything's fine. It only gets confusing when you try and mix the two up. All men love horse. Men love horse.
We've got good technique.
Of course. Any man who sits there and says
you love horse then?
Well, any man who says he doesn't love horse is a liar.
So you love.
Well, if I'm on a boat in Miami, I don't want.
Would you prefer a blowjob with your teeth or the mouth? You need someone with experience.
Well, if you want girls who are just a good time, they're not going to be that emotionally invested. They're probably going to be. If you're going to go to a party with 20 women, you want women who are just a good time. Good time women are who's and men love horse. But men want the dichotomy because we want our cake and eat it. We want a wife and we want both. It only gets confusing for a man when he puts them in the wrong category. What will happen is a man will fall in love with her because he can't control himself, and then try and say, oh no, she's wifey because he doesn't love her because he's an idiot. But if you're me and you can sit and go, okay, that one's a good one, she's wifey, those are the hoes, they're this, and you just keep everything in its right place, it's fine.
So Bonnie's a.
I don't want to insult Bonnie Blue.
You can't insult me.
No,
I always say people can call me a prostitute, whatever. I don't care. Like, you just can't insult me. Like, I own it. Whatever word you want to call me, whether you say
it's not even insulting. It's just a factual description.
Yeah.
It's a factual description.
If anything, it turns me on.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's why she's so good at her job.
By the time you finish calling me a whore, I'm going to leave this chair with a wet patch.
Well, there you go. That's why she's so good at her job. I have that effect anyway. But the point I'm making here is, any man who sits and goes, oh, I hate hoes, that's all a lie. There's scenarios in which they're very welcome and very liked, but there's scenarios in which they're not. So everyone has their standing in life. Everyone has their place in life.
Yeah.
Bonnie, even I would argue, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but you can correct me. Bonnie will have sex with one man, or have sex with a certain type of man, or have sex with whoever, but she'd marry a different type of man. To marry someone is different than having sex with someone. You wouldn't just marry anyone, would you? You'd have to kind of like him.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be completely different. I don't really have sex with anyone of legal age, but if I'm thinking of marriage, it's completely different.
Okay, so even in Bonnie's mind, there are people she treats a certain way and respects in a certain way, and there's people she has sex with without any emotional attachment. That's exactly how it is as a man. There's a woman you'll treat a certain way and have a certain amount of feeling for, and there's a woman you just fuck. That's it. So everything's actually fine. Men saying they hate all this, that's all a lie. Men love in the right scenario. So you're asking me, my girlfriends. Well, I mean, it depends. If you catch me on a boat, if you catch me on my yacht with 25 women, are they all virgins? No. But do I have children from some virgins? Yes.
If you ever host a virgin party, count me in.
How would you get into a virgin party?
Well, no, but I'd be there to take the virginities. I'm obsessed
Yeah,
with it.
you wouldn't be able to be in there.
Taking boys' virginities.
Well, just like how Andrew likes 18-year-old.
Wait, okay. Careful now.
Sorry, try to go
I'm
younger.
under investigation. What I have said.
Andrew, 18 is a legal age. I don't know what you class as legal.
No,
but
18 is legal. You're right.
Yeah.
But the reason, actually, and it's interesting you said this, but the reason men prefer younger women is because they have less history. That's why.
Yeah.
The average 22-year-old live less life than the average 30-year-old. That's why men prefer younger women in general.
I'll say in general, like biologically, men prefer younger women because they're more fertile. You have a higher chance of actually spreading on your seed and producing an offspring. That's the biological reason. But in today's time, I can believe it. She just got less of a pass, man. She ain't been super ran through. You would hope, but these girls fucking at a young age, man. I know I fucking when I was 16, so I'm 35 now. Just think if a girl been fucking all them years, ain't missed a beat. She got a lot of bodies on her.
But sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just clarifying because everything gets clip farmed, and before you know it, I'm back in handcuffs.
So not 18, 19. But I'd happily take an 18-year-old on their birthday, like
Why?
closer to 18. I just want them, to be young, innocent. I want to strip them from that. I want to
steal their innocence.
I want to watch
Like
their toes curl up as they come for the first time from a girl. Like, I love that, and I also think it's educational. So I'm obsessed.
How's
with
it educational?
You think about sex education at school. It's from a middle-aged teacher that's not been laid. And they basically say you have sex or you're probably going to die from STD. There's no information. If anything, they should whip up one of my DVDs, put it on screen and show, look, that's how it enters the pussy. This is how you get a girl wet. There's none of that. So me having sex with them shows this is a woman's body. Yes, a woman's Andrew, not trans. And
I don't think you're trans.
And
we'll come to that.
They don't know how to pleasure a girl. They've not touched a girl. They've just watched videos, online where they're slapping, they're choking, they're hair pulling. And then they go to do it on a woman or a girl for the first time. She's probably going to cry the next day.
Yeah, you're probably going to get a criminal charge of that. Probably get sued if that happens.
Probably need to talk about my experience there. But like with me, I love educating them. Like they've never fingered a girl before. They've never.
So you educate your guys when you sleep with them?
Not all the time. Some of them are in their 80s and their wife's dead. Like they've been having sex for years, but some of them are 18 and haven't lost their virginity. They haven't been having sex. So I love lying there and saying, look, do whatever you want to me, trial and error. And if anything, I'm protecting women because then the next girl they sleep with, they know how to choke properly. They know how to slap. They know how to pleasure her. And also I give them such a safe environment. Like, I mean, if you had an 18-year-old son, would you send him to me on his 18th birthday?
No.
Okay, so your son will probably lose his virginity after going to a club. He's probably been drinking, the girl might have done drugs. They then go back to some hotel or parents' house.
I don't think I'm raising him that way.
Okay.
I didn't think, well, how do you raise
What about if he
somebody?
falls in love and loses his virginity to someone he loves.
And what if the world becomes a really happy place? It's unrealistic. When people lose their virginity, it's probably after a night out.
So it's more realistic I send my son to you.
Yeah.
Who slept with 1,000.
Are you saying, Rob, that your children are going to do what you want?
On his 18th
Because
birthday,
they're independent people, Rob. No, they can make their own decisions, Rob. Don't come out with that crap.
Well, I think my kids are. You don't have kids, and I think my kids are older than your kids. So de facto, I think I've got a bit more experience in being a dad. Because everyone talks about how it is until their kids actually do disobey them, which they do.
No, they won't.
Right, Rob, on your son's 18th birthday, I'll be stood on the driveway with a balloon and a happy birthday card. I'll take his virginity, but I'll take him to a safe, controlled environment. I'm not going to cry and rape the next day. I'm STD tested. I can educate him on a body. So the next girl he sleeps with, because if that's the girl he falls in love with, she's going to want a good shag. She's going to want to be pleasured. She's want to walk away from him and go, that was good. Yeah, I want to see him again. I want to stay loyal to him because he was amazing in the bedroom.
Rob, you should do it.
Do you really believe this?
Rob, do it.
Okay, would you send your son to Bonnie, age 18 birthday?
I don't need to, but you need to.
I don't need to.
Yes, you do.
Are you judging me, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm just saying that. Like,
Andrew, I do father and son as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
No, thanks. But
brother and brother?
No,
double penetration?
No way.
Well, you need to find out if I'm trans. I think you and your brother, double penetration, then you'll know the truth.
Okay, first things first.
Hell
You're
no.
not trans, and I knew you weren't trans. 100%.
Is that because you've had multiple wanks?
No, it's just 100% you're.
Or is that
trans.
because you left this at my last event? Oh, you don't want to touch it? I thought you might be thirsty. You want to rinse it for cum?
Bonnie. Bonnie. I knew you weren't trans. However,
yeah,
I would argue that a lot of the men who f you are gay.
No, it can be intimidating though for guys.
No, it's not about intimidation. They are gay.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Because
their dick is entering a pussy.
There's too much male DNA all around that scenario. The reason I find female promiscuity, by and large, from my personal sexual appetite, quite disgusting, is because I don't like the thought of other men anywhere near what I'm gonna. I'm so not gay that I don't like that there have been men there.
Except if you're on a boat with 25 of them.
Well, if that's whoreland. When you're if you're in whoreland, it's whoreland. You
So
don't
that's
care.
the fork box, not the spoon box.
I guess you could argue that, yes. My point is, if I was going to take a woman seriously, the idea of another man being near her, I find repulsive. And I find it repulsive because the idea of the man repulses me by and large.
Yeah.
Any man who's happy to have sex with that many other men, when there's that much other male DNA in the room, I would argue has a streak of homosexuality to some degree. I would argue that those men are gay. Now, you're not trans, but I don't think a straight man wants to see that's had 10 dicks in it, or 20 dicks in it, or 50 dicks in it.
What about 1,057?
Well, I don't know. Maybe these men are just bi, or I don't know. Maybe they're desperate. You can argue lots of things.
I don't agree, but I do get where you're coming from. Like some of these guys, especially 6 hours in, they come to me. It's the floor's like an ice rink. There's that much cum on there. My face, I'm barely recognizable. Like my hair is slicked back. My eyes are full of cum. Like my whole body is so slippery from cum. And yet they still come, they kiss me, they touch me. And I think, what if they don't want to touch me because I'm covered in another guy's cum? And when I do the gangbangs and there's a lot of men together,
This is just nasty, but even she thinks it's disgusting. Even she thinks it's disgusting, especially for a guy to still come up and like, what kind of, that's nasty.
They have security in that room. A lot of people assume that security's for me. It's not. It's for the other guys, because I'm always concerned, like, if another guy comes and it hits another guy, I don't want a fight to break out. I don't want them to be like, oh, that's gay, don't touch me. So there's always security when I do these events, but it's predominantly for the guys, because I'm scared a fight's going to break out because they think it's gay.
And you respect this profession?
It is gay.
I understand the profession. The profession's been around for a very long time. I respect the honesty, actually, what I said. But yeah, I think the men who turn up to these events are gay, by and large. I think they're at least bi. Because I think that if you're a straight man, you don't really want to be near other kind of men's genitals. And time, in and of itself, we should resurrect Einstein and get him in this conversation. He'll tell you more about it than me. But, time's all happening at once, they say. And that, it's not linear like we believe. And there's another dimension where everything happens at once. Have you seen Interstellar?
Yes.
Cool. So if you fuck her after she's been you're fucking her at the same time she is being, the dick is in there with your, and it's all happening in one big time warp of jizz.
Is that
and it's better if you're just nowhere near it. If you just don't
this
go anywhere near
conversation's
it.
getting me really wet.
Well, this is the thing. Well, I'm sure that when I see your next event, time warp of jizz, I expect a cut. But so for me, women say this. Oh yeah, but it was before I met you. I don't give a fuck if it was before you knew my name. You got f***ed, and that's disgusting, and that offends me now. You cheated on me before I met you. That is terrible.
Is that not your insecurity?
Well, that's a perfect word. So people call it insecurity. You got onto my point. So almost like you.
And look, I'm ready to see Andrew break this one down because I get tired of people saying that. And he's one of those guys, I can tell, he's a little soft-ass dude to a certain extent. Not saying he's a bad guy, I don't know him. He could probably be a great dude, but he's a little soft when it comes to these subjects. Because they're saying, could that be the insecurity? No, motherfucker. You don't fuck. The only time that word gets thrown around is when a man doesn't want to mess with somebody who's done something. It's mainly in the dating game. When he doesn't want to mess with something, when he doesn't want to deal with something, he's insecure. every other aspect, the dude don't want to rob a bank. You ain't gonna call him insecure for not wanting to rob the bank. But if he don't want to get with a chick that he knows had a whole bunch of fucking sexual partners, now you're insecure. No, it don't work like that. People have things that they're willing to tolerate and that they don't want to tolerate. And you can't force that shit on people all the time. I have my beliefs in what I want to fucking deal with, and you can have your beliefs in what the fuck you want to deal with. But just because I sit here and say I ain't messing with no hoes, don't get mad at me because I won't marry no hoe. Like, damn, you go marry the hoe. It's like I don't get that shit, man. It's not insecurity, man. You can't just throw that out. That's just an insult. That's just an insult towards men.
Read my mind, Rob. People call it insecurity. They say,
if you've got 1 inch, the other guys are gonna have bigger dicks.
Well, people call it insecurity and people call it lots of things, but truthfully what it is heterosexuality. And any of these men who go, oh yeah, I don't mind her being covered in cum, they need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and probably get an AIDS test because they're gay. And that's fine. I mean, some people are gay. But you can be gay. You can have gay sex with a woman. Of course you can. I mean, the point of having sex with a woman is to get her pregnant, by and large. I'd argue that being horny in general is kind of gay. To be like, I'm so horny. Like, I'm a full-grown man. I'm so horny. I'm so horny. Like, who?
Yeah, but to me, gays fucking another guy. It's
No. Gays doing gay shit, bro. Gays.
No. You gotta do that again. Guy, what they say it take?
These men who go, oh yeah, I don't mind her being covered in cum. They need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and probably get an AIDS test because they're gay. And that's fine. I mean, some people are gay. But you can be gay. You can have gay sex with a woman. Of course you can. I mean, the point of having sex with a woman is to get her pregnant, by and large. I'd argue that being horny in general is kind of gay. To be like, I'm so horny. Like, I'm a full-grown man. I'm so horny. I'm so horny. Like, who?
Yeah, but to me, gays.
Look, yeah, I'm clipping that. That's gonna be one of the it's gonna be one of the little Paul shits, man. I gotta clip that. That shit's funny.
Another guy. It's
No. Gays doing gay shit, bro. Gays having sex with a woman without the intention of impregnating her, having sex with a woman who's covered in cum, in all this.
I disagree with the first part. I had my good fair share of sex, and I went out of the way to not have kids. I don't think that's gay. So Andrew can take that one off the board.
It's just gay sex. It's all gay. Have sex with a woman and have a child.
What, so you only have sex on ovulation day?
It's not about that, but there has to be a
Okay, so
chance.
you're gay.
There has to be a chance of a child arriving.
But what about on your boat with 25 hoes?
Who says I even fuck them? You think, Rob, this is what I mean. You're so trapped in the matrix. You're so trapped in the matrix.
I think you're judging me, Andrew.
No, you think
you know I'm not trapped in the matrix.
You think I'll get 25 whores on a boat and then be like, yeah, let me fuck them? No, I just want 25 whores on my boat because it's like I want whores on my boat. I want trees in my forest. Like they're just there because I've got a boat. I've got a boat and there's women on my boat and they're all beautiful and everyone's jealous of me while I sit there, and even though they all annoy me and I don't even want to fuck them, I just sit on my laptop. But that's just life. It's not about. It's not about the sex. You're thinking about sex. This is beyond sex. These people ain't thinking right.
Do you do anything just for fun?
Loads of stuff.
Like what?
But I don't think running around. I mean, maybe when I was younger, but I'm an old man now. I'm old. I'm 38. I really have no interest in dead puss. You know, when girls sit and say, I'm on birth control. Disgusting. Wow. There's nothing more disgusting than on birth control.
Yeah, but I think it's disgusting if women get pregnant and they can't afford to look after that kid, or they end up in a council house on benefits and that kid has to shit
No, this is good. Bonnie,
but that's good.
No, let me explain.
We're going to run out of beans.
No, let me explain. This is a great thing. Feminism's led us here, and we voted to let in all these migrants, and all these migrants turn up in the state. Look, I've got hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
If I got a woman pregnant and she annoyed me, I'd say, yeah, call the council. Fuck you. Let's just the state like everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm brown enough. I'm black enough. I can do it. Put her in Marsh Farm, Luton, where I'm from. Be fine.
You wouldn't do that.
Who gives a fuck?
You wouldn't do that.
Who
But that's your
cares?
kid.
She better text me respectfully. She can be rich. If she texts me beef, I'll be like, call the council, get a council house, whatever. Let's have kids. Let's just all live off the government. This is feminism. Because you don't live off the government if you have husbands. They don't want husbands. And they don't want husbands. Women want to get married, but they don't want husbands. They want to get married like Sex in the City style. You know, like you fuck a million men, then you get married to some really rich guy who lets you do whatever you want. Then you have an affair with the gardener, and then you spend all his money, and then somehow you're still the victim. That's the kind of marriage they want.
That's
they
most
don't
women's
want
dream.
That's right. They don't actually want to be wives, because wives are obedient, and wives are quiet, and wives listen. All women say this. I want to marry you, I want to marry you. Wait till you're in an argument with them and read their messages and go, this is why I will never marry you. This is why I will never marry you. I read their messages and they don't realize that they've ruined their chance forever. I cannot marry you because of how you talk. A wife doesn't do this. I told you to be quiet 3 times.
What you can do is say, go and get on that naughty corner.
That's right.
That naughty stuff.
So women don't want to be wives. They want to just get married, which means that the whole familiar structure is broken. Once the family structure is broken, who has to take the place? Government. Think about this. In Romania, we have no mental health care. Why are there no mental people are out in the streets? Family. We have no forced child support. Why are women not starving to death? Family. We have no disability care. Why are people not sitting on the streets with no legs? Family. Family does so much work. In the West, we have no family. So the government has to come along and offer mental health care, disability care, forced child support. The government has to do it because of feminism. So what I'm saying is if women don't want to get married to men anymore and they all want to listen to the government, then the government can raise kids. Fine. Wrong. You put 4 women in front of me, all different flavors. You give me Indian, Chinese, black, white, whatever. And you say you all have a kid out of all of them and they'll all be raised on council estates around England. I'd say no problem. Why not? Why not? If they're real leaders, they'll survive.
If you don't feel guilty, that's your child.
Why would I feel guilty?
Because that's your child, it's your DNA.
Of course, and if the woman's nice to me and says, Andrew, I'm tired of living in Runcorn. Can I come live in Dubai in a mansion? I'll say, of course, my dear.
But then
if she annoys me, if she's like, oh, I'm here in Dubai and you left me by myself and you're with all these other women, who are all these about? But I'm like, let's go back to Runcorn.
Take the kid off her.
No, I'm going to take the kid off her. She can keep the kid.
But it's your DNA.
Yeah, of course. And my DNA is survivor DNA.
But if you've got a proper wife,
if I have 50 kids, at least 5 of them will be real. Because I don't need the other 45. Look, it's survival of the fittest out here. This is how it works. This is how my brain works. But you're saying,
hey, look, y'all, and that commentary right there is probably why a lot of folks hate him and don't like him. They want to get him locked up. Cause saying shit like that, like I don't think about it like that. It's my child. I'm gonna try to do the best I can for my child. Now, I am an advocate of if you got a baby with a woman and she doing everything in her power to brainwash your kid and keep your kid away from you, she making it tirelessly hard for you to be in your kid's life. I see my kid when I get 18. I heard Corey Holcomb say that shit. There's no point of you killing yourself trying to be in your kid's life. Wait till they turn 18, then let them know what it is. And I know a lot of people that disagree with that, but no man should be forced to fight with a crazy bitch over their child. No real woman would make her man, the father of her child, fight to see his kids. It's for all y'all women that say these men don't fight. Why the fuck are they fighting? If you a real woman, you a woman that stand 10 toes down, you one of the real ones. You would never make your man fight to be in his child's life. You would never do that. But if a woman, I'm being honest, man, if a woman makes you try to fight to be in your child's life because y'all not together no more, bro, I'll see my child when they turn 18, man. I ain't got time to be playing games with no evil bitch. You're not finna ruin me and my child. You're not gonna ruin me and my child. When my child get old enough, they got a lot of life to live. We can have that relationship then, and guess what? I can explain some things to him. But no woman should ever make a man fight to be in his child's life. But I get what he's saying, but that's probably the reason why some folks have some negative views about him. Cause I heard bad and good shit about him. I just never got on that hype train, especially during them fresh and fit years, man. Andrew Tate came on there, everybody lose everybody. Andrew Tate, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? So many goddamn followers out here. But either way, though, let's keep going.
Hey, I don't know why we're gonna sit here and create the logic fail of pretending it is wrong for a government to raise the children when that was a man's job, when men have had all of their authority removed. You want us to have the responsibility of a woman, the responsibility of a family, the responsibility of children, the responsibilities with none of the authority. You can't tell a woman what to do. You can't tell her to be quiet. You can't tell your kids off. You can't tell her not to suck. You can't tell her not to go out with her friends. If you do any of that, it's emotionally coercive behavior. That's a criminal charge in England. If you tell your own wife not to go to the pub, and you're the criminal.
Oh, you're so controlling.
That's right.
Let me do stuff.
But I'm still responsible? No. Looks like the government has more power than me. So if you want to play this game and take all of my authority away as a man, you want to reduce me to nothing more than a tax slave, well, then I'm going to play your game back at you. I have no authority, so I have no responsibility. I will look after children, and I will look after the women who give me absolute authority over their lives, who say, yes, sir, anything you say, sir, I trust what you believe in the world. I trust you're guiding us. I trust you to take care of us. Yes, sir. Those women are driving Bentleys currently, living in mansions currently. And the women who say, I don't want to listen to you, I want to do what I want, are currently in council houses. And I have kids with all of them. And I don't give a fuck. Because this is my masculine imperative, to impregnate. And when I die, no matter what you think of me, no matter what anyone thinks of me, no matter what anyone watches this, has a bad problem with me, whatever, I get to die with 100 children. I win. I had 100 kids. I was one of the most famous men on the planet, made hundreds of millions of dollars, spent a little time in jail, whatever. I win. Great life. Genghis Khan. There's men out there who go, oh no, I've got my 2 kids, that's enough. That's your choice. To me, it sounds like failure, perma-failure. And the only reason they're doing that is because their women wouldn't give them more. Or they're afraid to have kids with another woman in case their woman finds out.
A lot of guys say, like I speak to, the wife wants another kid, but they don't want it because they know they'd have to work longer hours. They know they'd have to do more work. Yeah, the wife wants another kid because she's fucking out.
Bonnie, most of that, look, you only can do that shit once you build it. Like, you got to have the resources to do it if you're one of those guys that want to do it. And you definitely got to have the resources. But if that's what a man chooses to do, I'm not going to knock no man. Like, look, if you can take care of all your kids, I don't care how many kids you got. I really don't. You can take care of all your kids. I don't care how many kids you got. I don't care how many women you got kids with either. For real. I really don't. I ain't really holding you that hard. As long as you taking care of your kids. But I wouldn't advise for people to be a role model of like you to be their role model and nothing like that either though. But see, I've said I definitely won't be controlled and enslaved because women are evil and want power. Yeah, look what he said is like, dude, I ain't gonna hold him, man. Look, if the state want to come in and cut me off at every step of me being a man and a husband and a boyfriend in this relationship, then goddamn, you take care of it. I can understand that sentiment. I can understand the mindset of where somebody comes from with that.
Oh, what's going to happen in a few months? I'm going to have to go back to work. I don't want to go back to work. Hey, I'm going to pop out another kid. So a lot of the time, I think the women do want more kids and the dads don't, but it's because of the pressure. They know that that additional kid is going to mean a sense of income.
It's because they're gay.
They're not gay.
They're gay.
Bonnie, do you think Andrew Tate is guilty of the charges against him?
I don't know. What's the saying? Innocent until proven... No, yeah, innocent until proven guilty. Are you a rapist?
What do you really think? What do you think?
No, I think why would he? He gets pussy easy enough. Why go and cause drama for yourself?
Bonnie is the most based person. You know that you're probably one of the smartest women I've spoken to.
I'm quite smart. To say I have a brain and I am smart, only in what I do. For example, like if you ask me about sex work, media or marketing, I've got an answer. You ask me about, I don't know, I don't even know where. I thought it was on an island right now. We're not. But I think why would someone like Andrew go and someone? He can get like unlimited pay. Why cause a headache for yourself? Why go and pay a lawyer? Why give more money to the government? He could just join my queue. I've seen him there multiple times.
Oh, wait, I was with you till then. Bonnie's based. Bonnie understands the world very well. I think that's why we kind of understand each other. She understands the world very well. Of course, I haven't raped anyone. What I did was not buy girls handbags who wanted handbags, and then they did what women do, which is cry.
They want attention and they want money.
Of course, they want attention and money. Everyone with a brain knows they want attention and money.
Did they cry, or was it the system that came for you first?
Well, this is the thing. When the system starts calling every single woman and promises them money, and you've slept with a bunch of them, they only need to find 1 or 2 out of 1,000, and then there you go. And then they can raise criminal charges on you, which is what they did to me. They call 1,000 women, they find a couple who want money or fame, and they get them to make lies up about you so that the government can attack you. This is my point by and large. This is why, if anyone's confused about my opinions on anything, I want you to understand men now, we are such second-class citizens. We have no authority, we have no autonomy, we have nothing left inside of us because we have no capability to even defend ourselves against heinous allegations which are raised in retrospect of action. We're expected to pay all the taxes, we're expected to build the roads, we're expected to go to work every day, we're expected to die in a ditch if the country needs defending, we're expected to stay on the boat when the boat is sinking, we're expected to do all of these things, but it turns out the government and women can wreck us by and large. We are nothing but slaves and serfs to the matriarchy now. And because we live in this matriarchal system where men are absolutely abused, nobody gives a shit about our mental health, nobody gives a shit about our physical health. All we talk about is breast cancer. That's not in the top 10 cancers, I believe. I think prostate cancer's 10 times the amount. Nobody gives a f if men die. Nobody gives a f we kill ourselves. Nobody cares we do worse in school.
I don't even know why it's freezing up though. Let's see, man. Let me see. Speed back up. We waiting to see if it catch back up, y'all. We froze right now. I don't know why I keep freezing like this. It's sitting on 1. It need to fucking get the goddamn 2. We were doing so good, y'all. It's doing so good. I don't know why it does that all the time. And it's always when I'm on camera. Either way, though, let's try it again.
To worry about paying for this kid, for example. If you're going to treat me like a and the government's going to come along like Big Daddy, it's going to poison my woman's mind so she doesn't listen to me, it's going to rape me in a divorce court, it's going to throw me in jail based on false allegations, then how about you pay for the fucking children? That's my view.
What do you think about that? Do you think like men are the lowest in society now?
I think men, if they speak out, they literally don't have a word against women nowadays. Especially if you, there is a lot of men that get away with it, and that's terrible. But there's a lot of girls that just haven't got the right way, and the next day they cry. And I'm not saying that's all women. It does happen. It happens.
Happens a lot.
Like blaming Andrew for that. It's just girls that want attention. Those girls come forward like, oh my god, I'm the girl that Andrew Tate raped. They'll Instagram will shoot through the roof. They'll get paid. They'll probably get some sort of clothing brand deal. It's oh my god, it's women empowerment. Look, you spoke out against someone that's so hated. They'll be credited, even though their stories are fake. They're the ones that will get praised.
100%. She's the most honest woman of all. This is exactly what men should be hoping for, to meet a woman this honest. Because most women. I'm
not going to hide my past. I'm not going to say, you know what, I'm really innocent. I'll say, you know what, I have 1,057 men. Yes, I want to get to a body goal of 10,000. But I am honest. I'm not hiding it. My phone hasn't got a password. Like, I am just so open and transparent.
You want to get to a body count of 10,000?
10,000. God damn.
Would you rather meet Bonnie, who tells you all of this, or a woman who goes, oh, really? No, I haven't really done much, when she's done everything and she's been told she's lying to you, and then you marry her believing she's a good girl, and then she takes you to divorce court and completely wrecks you? You know what? Men say, oh, my woman's not a gold digger. Go to divorce court. Don't talk about gold diggers. Go to divorce court and you will soon learn that every single female on the planet wants your money. All. I've never seen anybody go to divorce court and say, she's not after my money, funnily enough. She just wants to get a divorce. No, every single time they want
Women
every
take the
fucking,
house.
they want to take everything. They're all gold diggers. So it's actually very interesting. I respect Bonnie because you know exactly what you're getting. If you show me a scorpion and I know you're a scorpion, fine. Don't put scorpion in a bunny suit. You understand?
With me, you get good technique and money.
You get it's honest. I respect the honesty of it. And people are going to sit here, and there are people who do it. They're going to sit here and go, well, Bonnie Blue does is disgusting. Ain't that right, babe? Ain't that right, babe? And they'll hold Babe's hand, knowing that Babe's worse. Babe's a scam. They met her in a fucking pub, three Jägermeisters in. She's prepared to that guy, whoever he is, who's a nobody. You're watching this at home. All you guys watching this at home. And you think your wife really loves you. Do you think I couldn't take your bitch? Of course I could. I think she chose you because she ain't met me, bruv. That's it. So, like, you're pretending your wife's any better? It's bull. I love Bonnie's honesty. And she knows. I'm going to bring her to court. You're my lawyer. I'm going to legal. This bitch is lying. She wanted money. That's it. So as a man now, you talk about the different forks and spoons and stuff. Let's talk about this. If I have a woman who I take care of and she's wifey and whatever, she's wifey in a certain scenario, that's fine. But if I'm going to put 25 girls on a boat, don't I want girls who are honest, who are open, who know why they're there? They're there because I'm rich and I have them there because they're hot and we all know why everyone's there. I'm less likely to get trouble with those kind of women than the women who go, oh, I'm so innocent, I'm so sweet.
But Andrew took advantage of me. Andrew took me on a boat and this and this happened. Whereas like, you take me on a boat, guaranteed, no, you always aren't getting involved. I'll say, if anything, I put it on you. That's more realistic.
What advice would you give to Bonnie now she's starting to get cancelled like you've been?
Well, I'm sure she's smart enough to understand there's have to find a way to monetize and become independent outside of the matrix like I did. You have to find some clever ways to do it, and it's very doable. I think Bonnie's going to continue to get paid using what she knows how to do to become financially successful, which is a fantastic thing to do. Why not? No point doing it for free. I think Bonnie's smart enough to work it all out. And I don't think she gives a what they say negative about her because there's no such thing as bad press. I mean, I'm probably the most negatively spoke about guy on the planet.
Does that bother you?
I don't give a
Probably. Man,
I just
more hate
really,
than you do.
my only thing for Bonnie, and I'm actually going to ask you a question. I really hope, Bonnie, that you stay true to the end. I hope you're real G about this. I don't want you to start busting out a cross and talking about God in about 5 years from now.
I mean, I might insert it inside of me, but there's no way you're going to see me at church unless it's for a gang.
No, I don't want any of that. I'm reformed bullshit. I don't want any of that crap and saying my past doesn't matter because I've been born again. Please don't do that. I want you until the end in the old people's home. I want, petting zoo, 85-year-old petting zoo. I want you to do it to the end and stay real about your choices.
100%.
All right. Well, then she's the real G. Then she made her decision. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Live by the code. Street life. It is what it is. Like me, I could have pussied out by now when they put me in jail. I could have started saying, yeah, women should vote. No, they shouldn't. So you put me in jail. That I stick to what I mean. She's going to stick to what she means and what she says and what she wants to do. She's not going to start busting out and trying to use religion as a shield because that's what most of these OnlyFans girls do.
Yeah.
And there's always some white boy, especially.
She's got no motivation. Like they don't know what to do. They're like, okay, what can I do now? Oh, okay, my OF's dropping or my fancy account's dropping. I know. Let's just say I found God. They've got no motivation or drive in life. They have to be given a purpose. You have to be given a reason to live. It's either
they don't want to take responsibility for what they did.
Yeah.
What they want to do is they want to erase their past. So they want to get these OnlyFans girls. They say, oh, I'm traditional now and God, and they wave a cross around, and then some little white boy who goes to church all the time who's never had his life is like, she's reformed, bro. Pathetic. But the women get away with it. So as long as they get away with it, you can't blame the thief for stealing. You got to blame the guy who didn't lock his gold up. Truthfully, if these women get away with this scam and men want to fall for it, then it's up to them.
So what Bonnie's doing is a scam.
No, I just don't want Bonnie to ever, change up the game. Stick to what you know.
One rule for one and one rule for another. And that's what's
but I find this interesting because most people are too fucking stupid to understand these false dichotomies we live under. And let's take Diddy, for example, right? I'm not defending Diddy.
Yeah.
What he did was probably wrong. I don't know. I haven't followed the case. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know what the fuck Diddy did. The guy, he was anti-Trump. He hated me. Me and Diddy don't even like each other. The only time we interacted on Twitter was beef. So I'm not defending the guy. What I'm saying is that black culture in America, the music, the culture, all it is sexualizing women, getting as much money as possible, being a gangster, waving guns around, fucking loads of women. That's the culture.
That sounds like you.
That is not the culture. That's what they put on TV, though. That's what they want. That's what they want the culture to be. It's not the culture, but that's what they want it to be. That's the stereotype of the black community. That's not the fucking culture. That's a very small segment of the culture and what you see on TV. But Andrew do be on that shit, though. He hang around white supremacists, too, so just got to throw that out there.
Careful. So if that's the culture that the black society is going to promote, if that's what the music is going to push, if that's what's seen as the end goal of success in the black community, becoming a rapper, becoming famous, having a bunch of whores, being feared, having guns, being a gangster, being a criminal, if all of this is what they're pushing and they're saying this is the end goal of success, and then someone gets there and does it, and then we say, he was threatening women and he was waving a gun around, he was fucking loads of women. So what I'm saying is, it's very hypocritical, this society we live in now, where we push people in a certain direction, and then as soon as they end up exactly where they're headed, we have a go at them for it and pretend they shouldn't be there. It is absolutely false to declare that women are not being sexualized. Women are told to be promiscuous now. Women are told to be sexual now. Yeah. So when a woman ends up promiscuous and sexually liberated, who are we to sit and say, I can't believe this has happened? It's completely asinine. It's a double standard. It's a false dichotomy. And it's amazing to me that we live in this world. If you're going to have black rap music push people to be in big mansions with a bunch of them, taking drugs and waving guns around, don't be surprised when black people do it. And don't be surprised when women end up as when we're telling women to be. If you want women to do something else, then tell them to do something else. I don't
could have used another analogy, but I get his point.
Know why we're surprised by it. The thing that's unsettling in all of this is still the role of the average man, who's expected to get far less in terms of loyalty and quality and standard from a woman than he's ever had and pay a far higher price. Our grandfathers got a woman. He didn't have to be rich. He didn't have to even be famous. He didn't have to be successful. He just had to be a man and do the most basic things. And she loved him and he loved her and they had a happy relationship. Our grandfathers got a woman for fuck all. Now, to get a woman who cares about you, you need to be one of the most famous, rich, well-known, drive a Lambo, this, X, Y, Z. The average man's fucking wrecked. And the role of men in all of this is completely forgotten because nobody gives about men. We're hypersexualizing women, and let's be honest, Bonnie is smart enough to monetize her own content, but most women who are promiscuous are not smart enough to monetize.
So isn't Bonnie part of the problem then?
Bonnie is a symptom of society.
Yeah.
I don't want to say of the disease.
And people need to understand that, like, because I ain't gonna lie, I know I do it. When I see some bitches on the internet doing some crazy shit, I come out and call that shit out. But in the grand scheme of things, it's all of society. That's why the end, like, you know, I do my little final spiel. It's for everybody else. It's for society, man. Like, look, these people are nothing but products of this whole fucking system that we live in. How society is pushed and the things we talk about, the things we tell people to accept. People really shouldn't, and I get the point. People really shouldn't be surprised with how some of these folks are turning out. Like, bitches are whores. Like, a lot of these girls are whores because they do promote that shit. Criminal activity happens. A lot of kids pick that shit up from what they see in movies, TV shows. Kids are influenced by what the fuck goes on around them. They're sponges, man. They soak it up. Us in society, knowing how our society is, we shouldn't be surprised with half of fucking anything. But a lot of it's demonized when a lot of it's geared right to you, man. Like, people know what the hell I don't disagree with the point. I'm just gonna put it like that. He has a point.
Of society, I could, but she's a symptom. She's the end result of the society we have built, which is why it's hypocritical.
Which you think is degrading.
I'm living the best I can in the world that's already been built. I don't give a shit about changing the world. The world has given me the opportunity to do what I do and monetize from it. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, but you said you thought you were a positive role model.
No, but Rob.
Well, I am positive because you think of the day I fucked 1,000 men. If he was a rapist, would you go and find someone else? No, I've shared my location. Come and fuck me. Like, I'm reducing rape rates because when you have sex workers that are available and guys want to have sex, they want to breathe, they want to. And if they can't find a girlfriend or they can't afford to pay for one, because prostitutes nowadays can be expensive, I'm saying, hey, I'm doing it for free. Just come fuck me. Take it out on me because I consent to that. So I'm not promoting, people say I promote culture and stuff. I'm not. I'm saying, hey, I enjoy it. I get wet. I get turned on. I wank over my videos. Come and fuck me. Save yourself paying a lawyer. Like, I'm actually doing people work.
What she just said to you, does that shock you?
None of this shocked me.
No, but do you find it, would you disagree with it? What she's doing? Would you, when you hear what she's talking about, do you sit and think you shouldn't be doing it? Because I'm trying to lead you down a trap here.
Of course you are. You always
do. No, okay. Well,
no, let me answer then.
Sure.
I'm quite neutral on it.
Okay.
Because I think that I imagine for some men it is useful.
Yeah.
The service you provide. I imagine other men get probably a bit up by it, and it.
Do you believe Bonnie has the right to make the choices she's making?
I believe you do. She does. I do. We all do. As long as it's legal.
Then there's impossible to have any kind of problem with it, surely.
I think you can have an opinion on it.
You just tried to cul-de-sac me there, didn't you, Andrew?
No, the point I'm making is the same people who are going to sit and say what Bonnie's doing is wrong, she shouldn't be allowed to do it, are also the same people who say women should be allowed to vote. It's one or the other. Either women do not have the ability to make their own decisions, or they do.
See, if I cared enough about what was going off, or think I could change it by voting,
but you can't.
So yeah, I don't bother looking in the news or anything like that.
Of course.
And also, why
But you're
should I look at
confusing
the
me
news?
because you say you don't give a fuck about anything on the world and it's just about you, but then you're trying to promote that you're a great
I
role
care
model
about
for
men's
men.
mental health, and I care about draining their balls and having fun and having orgasms. The only time I talk about the rape rates is when women are crying, saying I'm increasing it. So if you want to start crying and making TikToks and making false allegations, I'll slap you in the face with the facts. The facts are 32% is decreased because of sex workers.
Women can't change the world, Rob. Let's look at this. Let's take this away from Bonnie for a second.
But haven't you said that feminism's just like taken over?
Feminism was given to women by men. Men are the only ones who can project force, Rob. Feminism is a male movement. You think if women march around in the street outside, anybody gives a... The only reason they get away with it is because men stand around them with guns. Men enforce feminism. Men project force. If women really wanted to fight the patriarchy, and they don't, trust me, the reason they say they want to fight the patriarchy is because the patriarchy doesn't fight back. If it became a real fight, patriarchy versus women, it would last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And when the riot horses start storming in with the batons, women would very quickly get back in the kitchen. So there's no such thing as female power. It's given to them by men. And it's given to them by subsects of men who are actually trying to damage masculinity. It's very interesting. Imagine it this way. Every single man out there is fucked, and every single man out there has a past. So every single man out there can have all of his exes contacted and find the Jezebels who want money and can be attacked. So why does it only happen to some men? Well, women are the conduit for attack, and the different groups of men decide to use women as a conduit to attack their enemies. Feminism is a group of men using women against other men. That's all it is. Women are the tools, and women are the symptoms. Women can't change society. Bonnie can't change anything. She's a symptom of the society she grew up in.
She thinks she can change men's mental health.
No, she's saying she can help with men's mental health, but she can't change society. Women, by and large, can't do anything. Women can march all day, every day. Nobody gives a fuck.
If you saw women marching there now, I'd look and think, oh, now what have they done, chip to nail? If I saw men,
that's called a
marching,
revolution.
I'd think, God, something's going wrong. Something's happening.
Because men
I
can
should
be violent.
concerned.
So she is a symptom of society. And what I'm saying is, unless you're prepared to stand up and say the entire society needs rewiring, women shouldn't be allowed to vote anymore. Women should not be having sex outside of wedlock. Unless you're going to start saying all of these things, you shouldn't have an opinion on Bonnie. Your opinion on Bonnie should be, she is the end result of the society we have built and promoted. She is acting how society has told her to act to get as far ahead as possible. She is being extremely successful financially. She's notorious. She's sitting with one of the most famous men on the planet. She's done a fantastic job for herself, built on the parameters that we've given her to live within. Yeah. Here's the rules of the game. She's played the game the best. If you're unhappy with what she's doing, change the rules of the game. But when men sit here and go, no, women should vote, and yeah, I listen to my wife, and I listen to her opinions, and me and my wife are best friends, and I love what women think, but Bonnie shouldn't do that. That's hypocritical and stupid. That's dumb. All women, to some degree, are sex work. And the reason I respect what Bonnie's doing is because Bonnie's making her own money with her own brains and being very honest and open about what she's doing. I respect what Bonnie's doing far more than the girls who have attacked me for charges, who got with me, asked for money, I said no, and then tried to put me in jail for it. That's sex work, but it's just criminal. It's just disingenuous. I respect Bonnie a lot more than the woman who goes out there and gets married to a man she barely loves and divorces him 2 years later and takes half of his estate. I respect Bonnie a lot more than the women who are out in Dubai dating 5 or 6, 7 different men, just getting handbags and rent and all of this stuff and pretending to be an angel and putting boss chick working real estate on her Instagram. All these women are doing the same shit, but Bonnie's open about it. Bonnie's honest about it. If you want to be with Bonnie, and Bonnie, you were married, I believe, or you had a boyfriend.
Still going through a divorce.
Okay, yeah. If you want to be with Bonnie, you know what you're getting. That's your decision. That's your prerogative. That's honest. That's great. Most of these men out here are married to women just the same as Bonnie. They didn't even.
That's crazy, man. She going through a divorce, so this man, shit. I bet her husband trying to get all the money he can get out of her. You went out here holding and embarrassing my family today. Yeah, bitch, I want all of it. I want everything you got. We still married, so I'm entitled to it. Like, shit, that's crazy. She was married. Makes sense, though.
You can know it. And if you told them, they'd deny it. If I open my Instagram now and see one of my exes getting married, and I message her husband right now on Instagram saying, she's a hoe, XYZ, he'll defend her. No, she ain't, you're a rapist. Fucking retard. So most of these women out here are the same shit anyway. I absolutely love people. You know what I love, Rob? Karmic retribution. I love, you know when you see a man play with fire, then he gets burnt? And you're like, shouldn't be playing with fire. I love it. We said women, let them do whatever they want. I was sitting there years ago saying, no, guys, no, we need to have children. I tried my best. They tried to put me in jail. Did women try and put me in jail? Well, yes, but who really tried to put me in jail? Men. Men tried to put me in jail. It's a male judge, male police officers dragging me in and out the cell, men locking me in the room, men defending these women who lie, men want me in jail for trying to protect society. But this is the world they wanted. I hope we have more Bonnie Blues. I hope every woman just f***s everything, and I hope all of society burns. I've given up.
Yeah.
This is what they wanted, so let's give them what they wanted. Do it.
How would God judge Bonnie Blue?
Well,
If God existed.
arguing about God and whether he exists or not is a completely different topic. But, I mean, the holy books have a whole bunch of lessons to be learned. And I would argue that one of the primary objectives of religion, all religions, since the dawn of time, has been trying to protect society from female sexuality, because female sexuality is unchecked, unlike male sexuality. Female sexuality, if it goes unchecked, results in some degree of chaos. All religions are telling women not to be overly sexual for a reason, because they know how society ends. That's why I said earlier we're in the end times. So how would God judge Bonnie? I don't know. Would he judge her? Or would he judge the society which created her? I'm not sure. But a society of absolute promiscuity leads to a whole bunch of problems that come later down the line, because men lose vested interest in the society with the promiscuity. If there's a kid that exists, and I'm sure he's mine, I have a vested interest. But if that woman's promiscuous and I'm not 100% sure that child is mine or not, then I have a less of a vested interest. And yeah, there's DNA tests and there's certain things, but before modern science, there was none of that. The only thing that gave me a vested interest in the child or the woman was the fact that my paternity was secured and it was guaranteed. And it was guaranteed through sexual exclusivity, which is why we've tried very hard to counter promiscuity for so long, because men lose all interest in family, by extension, all interest in society, when we do not have guaranteed paternity. But once again, who am I to tell society how to be? Because every single time I do, men try and put me in jail. You know, the enemy of the world are not women or the good girls or the bad girls, anything. The enemy of the world are the simps. It's simps that did all this shit. It's simpy ass men who listened to women's opinions, who did all of this crap. And here we are. Simps did it. Simps are the most dangerous men on the planet. Simps are going to sit there and, like what I said earlier, if I message one of the guys who's marrying one of my exes now, he's going to simp over her, tell her how much he loves her, and pretend I'm the bad guy. For doing what? Sleeping with his wife when she wanted it? Simps are the enemy of the society, and simps have built all of this shit.
And a lot of them simps, I guess, are going to sleep with Bonnie, aren't they?
Well, they're all in love with her, and I don't blame them, because fucking losers. No difference.
No, yeah, see, I don't find him like, before I did judge him, like, before I spent hours and hours chatting to him and stuff, I think that's weird, or why have they requested that? But you know what? I'm saying not.
So you used to judge the men you slept with?
Until I actually educated myself on it, yeah. And that's like most things, you judge things until you educate yourself.
And what have you learned about men sleeping with thousands of them?
That a lot of the time it's the women's fault. It's the women's fault. It's why they're in my queue. If they just sucked them off that day, the balls would have been drained and they wouldn't come and giving me a facial. The balls wasn't drained, therefore they was in my queue. And a lot of these men, it's not because they don't love their family, don't love their wife and their kids. That's one thing. Having sex is separate.
True.
And also a lot of these men, it's just sex to them.
True.
They're not asking for an emotional connection. And a lot of them sometimes just feel lonely because the world lets them down in loads of ways. They're made to work. They're made to provide. They're made to look after the kids, still empty the dishes. Like, they're made to do so much and they feel lonely. They can't go and say to their wife, you know what, work was hard today. She'll bite back and say, oh, the kids kept me up. This happened. And, you know, they drop their yogurt on the floor. They've always got something to complain about, whereas I'm not that. I'm not like every other woman. They get to come to me and I'll listen to them and I will cater to their fetish. You know, as long as it's within my boundaries, I will do that for them. Because I'm like, I want to do that. I want to help you. I want to make your day a bit better because your wife isn't doing that. So I want to do that. So I don't find them weird. Like before, some of their requests, I think.
But the way she trying to sell this shit, she a good salesman, man. Bitch, what you doing is disgusting still. Like, just throwing it out there for you. But you can try to put look, it's a pile of shit that you trying to put a cherry on top. You pissing and telling me it's raining. Y'all get the gist of what I'm saying right now? Like, she trying to dress it up. Like, it's still disgusting what you're doing, but you can make it sound like you're doing a good job. Look, everything that what's the best way to say it? Everything that is done that is bad can sometimes possibly have a good outcome, I guess. Mental health, you helping them out. You still doing something disgusting.
Ken, talk to me about where do you think of that? That's a bit weird, or that's odd. How are you getting off to that? And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to judge them. I don't know what they're going through to a certain degree. If I can make their day a bit better, I want to do that because I'm a good person.
Need them.
Would you not say, though, Andrew, that's a weak man that's going to Bonnie?
I think men take what they can get. And I think that it is the masculine imperative to take what they can get. Like, once again, I try not to be a hypocrite. I try very hard to be very fair with all of my views. So let me answer myself. If I was walking down the street and a beautiful woman come up to me and said, get me pregnant, no strings attached, I'd be like, all right, safe. I'll take it. Why not? Take what you can get, right? The men who are going to Bonnie perhaps do not have the options I have. But then, like me, if I go to Saint-Tropez, Monaco, Dubai, the most beautiful women in the world are begging for me all day, every day. When I go to Dubai, all the women that you men are Instagramming, and she's ignoring you, is chasing me because I've got the money and the status, which is what they want. But then I'm ignoring them because I can't be asked to charge. So it's the circle of life. Do I blame men for taking what they can get? No. If there's a group of men around, there's a whole bunch of jizz, they should be too straight to pull that off. But one-on-one, if they can handle the time vortex, if they can get, a calculator and work it out, it is what it is. sex used to result in children. That was the point of sex. And now we have the capability of having sex without children, which is a relatively new experiment. And this also happens with homosexuality, with gay people, why they keep doing more and more deprived things, because sex gets boring after a while. It's like drugs, right? You take a little bit and then you need more and you need more for more excitement all of the time. So where the whole ends, I don't know. Maybe a lot of this is down to porn addictions or those kind of things. I'll be on here and I'll state completely honestly, and I say this before God and before the cameras, I don't watch porn. I haven't watched a porn clip in 20 years. I don't watch porn. I don't need to watch porn. I can barely get through my roster as it is. I ain't got time to be watching porn. I don't watch porn. I don't jerk off. I don't do any of that. I have too many females to service. I'm already behind. I've got to hurry up on this podcast. I got to do. So I don't do any of that stuff. But if you're jerking off the porn all day, every day, perhaps you're always trying to find something new to excite you. That's why you end up looking at midgets and whatever. And then perhaps the depravity is the exciting part of it, like drugs or like anything else. But this is just an end result of having sex without the primary objective of having children, because that should be the result of sex is children. We've removed that now. So the point of sex is pleasure. But we all know that pleasure gets old and you have to constantly up the game and up the ante. I don't know. Do I blame the men for taking the free pussy when they have no other pussy on the table? Absolutely not. I don't blame them. Do I blame Bonnie for making a whole bunch of money off of it? No. If I was unhappy with that exchange, would my problem be with Bonnie or the men? No. My problem would be with society as a whole. If I believed that was wrong, perhaps I would have been online years ago trying to stop society heading down this direction. But if a whole bunch of men fought against me, turned up and raided my house with guns and waved MP5s in my face, saying that I'm a bad person for trying to protect society and saying what I believe society should function as, then I'd understand that men want this. So who am I to say otherwise? This is what men and women want. I'm just a guy. I'm just a dude. This is the Western world we've built. We've built a Western world where men are just tax slaves and women are the most important things on the planet who can do whatever they fucking want. And they're always permanent victims / always permanently right. And they're girl bosses and we're dumbasses. And we just have to build the roads and build the buildings and die in ditches. And this is all a woman's world and it's a matriarchy. So if that's the world we live in, let women do whatever they want. Cool. And the government can raise the kids. And this is the new society we've built, the new utopia. Fantastic.
Do you think Andrew's a good role model?
It depends which way you're looking at it. But yeah, everything he says.
Well, how would you look at it?
Well, yeah, I guess. I think he is. I've heard clips before where you spoke about, and I think, God, I couldn't disagree more. But it's because I've looked at it out of context. Then when I've actually listened to the podcast and it's put in context, I'm like, he is completely right. So there's not many things, apart from him saying people are gay, I disagree with. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, that is true. It's factual. A lot of the time, we're not talking about near enough everything we've spoken about today, when you talk about the past, the future, how it is, it's factual. You look on the news, everything we're saying is true. We're not here just saying, oh my God, I think this is vile. We're saying it's vile. Here's the stats. Here's the statistics to it. So you can disagree with it. We're not saying everything we agree with, but we're giving you the facts. You can't cry about that.
Right. How do you think people are going to take you being on this show with Bonnie Blue?
I don't know. I don't really know.
It's actually nice not being the most hated person in the room for a change.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah. And I think I'd be uncomfortable.
I would love to hear the argument of somebody that would have an issue with him sitting down with her. Like, I'm one of them people that I'll have a conversation with anybody. I'll sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with the Grand Wizard of the KKK. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with this motherfucker. And I don't understand why there would be people out there be like, what the fuck you talking to him for? Look at bitch. It was like when Ice Cube went and talked to fucking Donald Trump. Motherfuckers had it. It's like, bitch, he trying to get something done. The fuck you talking about? I don't understand it. I wouldn't understand why that's even a question he would ask him. It doesn't matter what motherfuckers think about me sitting down with Bonnie Blue. Who gives a fuck what they think? Just because I sat down with somebody and had a conversation with them, like, what the kind of fucking shit is that, man? And see, I'm saying Bonnie just trying to give Tate some of that tainted twat. I think he might have already got it before. Honestly, the way they've been going back and forth a little bit.
And unfamiliar with not being the most hated person in the room. But I don't really give a fuck how people take it, to be honest. I think people will understand that, it's entertaining. I think that this conversation's been very interesting. I don't know if people expected me to have a go at Bonnie or try and tell her what she's doing is wrong.
I've been called the female version of Andrew Tate for a long time now. And I think just because I say women are lazy, they are poorly educated, they're not servicing the guy. And if you're not servicing your guy, he's going to go and cheat. And everyone's like, you basically sound like Andrew Tate. But it's like, I'm talking from experience. They're talking from poor experience. And I'm saying, hey, these are the facts. I've slept with over 1,000 people and this is my experience.
But if you want a really intellectual conversation, if you want to really actually analyze.
She does have an expertise in it. She got a lot of experience.
False bullshit of male sexual exclusivity is actually creating most of the problems in the world today. When we say to women that a man should be loyal to only her, That's what's creating all of the divorces, all of the breakups, all of the women who run from man to man to man to man, trying to find a loyal one. None of them are ever loyal. So then they end up just chasing the bag and chasing money and end up being sex workers, which is fine. But all of this comes from this bullshit idea that men have ever been sexually exclusive. Men have never been sexually exclusive. Women were to guarantee paternity. Men, since the dawn of time, every king, every sultan have had harems, they have had concubines. Every single man who could, did. The men who can't say they wouldn't and say they don't want it because they can't. It's like a broke man saying he wouldn't drive a Ferrari. No one gives a fuck what you think because you're poor. If you're actually important and you can have a harem, you have a harem. They always have. So now we have this weird society where men are out here trying very hard to compete in the sexual marketplace, to become as important and rich and successful and well-known as possible because it's so hard to get a woman. When they finally pull that off, women are chasing him because women only want the top 1% of men. And then when a woman gets with him, she tells him, you can only be with me and no one else. And then he's like, okay, well, you've been with a whole bunch of men before me. You're not even a fucking virgin. You don't even listen to me. You don't shut up when I tell you to. So why the fuck am I going to only be with you? I'll be with 10 women just like you. You all have big mouths. So if I'll just be with all of you. And then she's like, oh my God, he cheated. And then she'll run away and just do the same thing again with another guy. And before you know it, after 20, she sits there and goes, why am I fucking for free? Let me just get paid out of this. So then she says, all right, she either becomes a sex worker honestly or becomes a sex worker dishonestly via charges and claims. That's what they do. If you're a woman who makes a claim against a man and you have an OnlyFans, you literally use sex to make money. And you literally lie to men pretending to like them. And now you're doing the same thing in a courtroom. The court has become OnlyFans. The court's OnlyFans now. Nothing's different. A woman just gets her pee and gets her tears or gets her lies, and she uses the court system to make money as opposed to using the OnlyFans platform. What's the difference? So you have honest and dishonest sex workers. And all of this comes from the fact that we don't have a society where you say, a man at that stature is going to have 4 or 5 wives. Get over it. Well, life would be a lot simpler if we could. If women weren't brainwashed into believing they need a loyal man. A man is loyal to you when he puts up with you, protects you, and provides for you. If a man's paying your bills and will stop you getting attacked on the street and puts up with your emotions, that's loyal. Don't worry about where his dick goes. That's loyalty. He's shown you loyalty. And he can put his dick wherever he wants. That's actually loyalty.
What do you think about that?
See, I'm very different though, because I'm the one that does the income. They probably won't be working it with the other way around because women also want things to be different. So like, I'm not saying I agree with that. Like, I think if I was with a guy, they probably wouldn't work. I'd be the one to be in control and I'd be the one fucking loads with the guys and they'd be loyal to me. Things are different.
Yeah, she'd be bossing it because she has the money. She's doing the protector and provision because she's got the cash. But what I'm saying is the happiest women, let's look, and this is cultural. Like if you go to Russia and you meet a billionaire, you think he has one wife. I mean, he has his wife, of course, and he has his girlfriend. And his wife just keeps her eyes closed and doesn't care. And he gets to enjoy his girlfriends and his wife gets to drive a G-Wagon and everyone's happy. It's only in the West where she'll be like, I can't believe he wants to talk to another girl. It's stupid. And then women end up leaving men they love because he cheated and then getting cheated on by a man they don't love. It's dumb. And it's just over and over and over again until they end up as sluts or old and used to the point where they can't get the quality of man they want. Then they're sitting around 36. I can't find a man who's, I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy because the guys you like are with 22-year-olds, my dear. And you had a guy who loved you and you fucked it up because you cried over him cheating like an idiot. Women, find a man you love, let him cheat. Just tell him to only come home to you and only love you. Let him do what he has to do. Don't stress him too much. Have some kids, drive a Bentley. That fixes society. But of course, if I said I'm a misogynist, I'm the worst man in the world. I deserve to go to jail.
If you say to that girl, go and work, go and earn your own money, go and do this. They don't want to do that either. So you got to pick and choose. Like
when you tell women to go earn their own money, one way or another, it ends up being sex work. You tell me you don't see these female fucking estate agents, whatever, in their little girl suit and their makeup and all pretty. Have you ever seen like one of these successful girl boss estate agents who's obese? I'm asking.
I haven't seen an obese female estate agent, no.
Have you seen obese women achieve anything financially? Or are there, because if you say no, then you're saying the women are judged on how they look, so all version of female work is sex work. That's the question. Can women do anything without being judged on the one thing they have, which is their sexuality?
I think you could be an obese comedian and make money.
Women
but then you'd be making jokes about the fact you're fat.
Yeah, and women
are funny.
Let's be honest, women
aren't funny, did you say?
I think I've made you smile a few times.
Yeah, you've made me smile because I've been impressed by your intuition. Mm-hmm. I've been impressed by how correctly you see society. But I think by and large, female comedians aren't really funny because humor is a masculine mating tactic. We have to make women laugh for them to like us, whereas women don't have to make us laugh. They have to be hot. Men fall in love with what they see. Women fall in love with what they hear. Yeah. Which is why women wear makeup. So we see something we like. And that's why men lie. So they hear something they like. Men lie. Every man on a date is a gangster and he's rich. You go, any girl go on a date with any guy, women watching this, I know you've been on a date with some guy recently. He's got a few tattoos, he's got a sleeve, and he's a gangster, he's a criminal, and he's got all this money, and he's a fucking jackass. He's got like $6,000 in the bank and a rented car on finance. But he's just lying. He's trying to pretend he's a G, and you're gonna fall for it, you're gonna suck his and then you're not gonna get paid out at the end of it, and then you're gonna realize he's a loser and you're gonna go get another boyfriend. So you were just sex working for free like a fucking idiot. You just got tricked. You can't trick Bonnie. Bonnie gets paid. You can't trick Bonnie. Bonnie gets her money at the end. You're dumbass. You're sucking for for free. Like a retard. So this is the world we live in now. So women are always judged on how they look, no matter what they do. Because to true biology, men are trying to find attractive women who can give them children, which is why we're attracted to women who are younger, because they're more likely to get pregnant. That's why attraction in and of itself, what is attraction? Attraction is health. When you look at a woman who looks healthy or has good genetics, because she'll give you strong offspring, that's what attraction even is. So women are always going to use their attraction. Once a woman's obese and ugly, then she starts walking down the street screaming about a bunch of garbage because she knows she can't compete in the true market of sexual dynamics, which is men have power and women have attraction. That's how it works. So I just think it's completely hypocritical for us as a Western society. I think it's absolutely insane to have any kind of opinions on sex work or bunny or anything else when women are using their sex nonstop all the time. How is having an Instagram page and being an influencer and doing TikTok dances with massive silicone tits and doing this and getting millions of views and unlimited money for dancing around with tit dance? It's not even good. Not sex work. How is that not sex work? How is Instagram not sex work?
You're uploading your best photos. You want people to find you attractive.
You're filtering. Instagram is a dating app. Women shouldn't be, if you're onto Instagram, you're looking for male attention. You're uploading your best pictures with filters. You got your tits out in every photo. You're shaking your ass in every photo. All these Instagram reels, all of TikTok, all of this. Look at any of the famous women. How is all of it not sex work? You're advertising sex or you're making people want to fuck you for attention or money. It's all sex work. So we as a society say, yeah, an 18-year-old girl can get massive silicones and dance around on TikTok and get millions and millions of viewers, but she's an influencer. No, she is a sex object.
Yeah.
That's all she is.
They're the ones that walk down the street. That's what pisses me off. They walk down the street and then they cry that a guy's wolf whistled them. They crying that a guy's up to their tits, that your tits are hanging out. I actually don't wear revealing clothing as such. I stay covered up. I don't feel like the need to show my tits. People can just see it, in person for free when I want to get naked. But I don't walk around looking like most of these other people do. Yeah, I am a but they walk around crying about the fact people call them. It's like, look at you.
Same in the gym.
Look in the mirror.
Same in the gym. They wear those tight gym clothes and complain that people are looking at them.
They're videoing themselves bending over going, oh my God, look at that guy.
So it's anti-sex work. So they do sex work and then complain they're being seen as sexual objects.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, Rob? You know what I'm saying is true. I understand you don't want to go to jail, so you have to be careful how you reply. I understand.
I'm just doing my job.
I'm gonna have to end right here, but to that final point that they're getting at, man. Look, that is a big issue, and that's I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. Look, do whatever you want to do, but don't complain about it at the end. And what they're talking about with the girls, like they'll go and set up cameras in the gym, where the tightest shit they can fucking find, and do workouts, and then try to film dudes looking at them. And it's like, girl, you weird as fuck for that shit. And I want to do what I want to do. I want to come out the house dressed like this. And guess what? I'm going to film people that look at me. You know people going to look at you wearing that out the house. They try to play innocent and dumb and all that shit. And it's like, nah, bro, we can't live in that type of society. But people defend that shit. They sit around and defend that shit nonstop. And I think what Tate is really getting at is like, I think his ultimate point was, look, pretty much we're promoting certain things in society. So how the hell can we sit around and complain? Like for all the people that justify the bullshit, you definitely can't complain about it. You can't complain about shit, and you can't play naive to the game because we all know what it is, man. Everybody know what right is right, and everybody know wrong is wrong. A lot of people are just making decisions hoping that they don't get judged for it. But over here on this channel, we stand for accountability and responsibility. We're gonna call him out. Tate saying that he ain't. I call Cap. He gonna say something about that shit. He gonna continue to speak on the bullshit, just like I'm gonna continue to speak on the bullshit because, dude, we gotta change it. I don't want to live in that society where all this shit is just completely off the wall, just bonkers. Now, am I built for it? Hell yeah. If it comes to it, and this shit around here don't work, we don't change no minds, don't change no hearts. Guess what? I'm still built. I'm built to live in it. I think a lot of other folks ain't built for that shit. I don't think y'all want to live in a society like what's about to happen. That's why I'm trying to get the fuck on up out of here, bro. I done told folks, when I get done doing what I came here to do, bro, y'all gonna see me in another country. I'll be howling at you like this, like, man, drinking whatever the fuck they be drinking over there. I ain't drinking no pink colada, whatever that shit called, because I heard that shit nasty. But either way, though, we came, we saw, we conquered. Interesting conversation between Tate and Bonnie Blue. For the people that's going to judge Tate for having a conversation with her, I don't understand who the fuck they are. And that's going to be the people that's over in the red pill or some shit. Why would you sit down with that whore? It's like, okay. And Bonnie, she's living what society pushed. So that's one way to look at it. And it's crazy because she a basic bitch. She a basic bitch. Like, you would think it'd be a bad bitch or some shit that be doing this type of shit, man. She ain't bad like that, man. She ain't bad at all. At all. Ugh. At all. Ugh. I don't get the hype, bro. I don't get the hype. But look, man, we came, we saw, we conquered, we did what we had to do. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight, man. I hope y'all hit that like for your boy, subscribe, share, turn the notes on, all that in the bag of chips. We might be here tomorrow. I don't know. But I know I am streaming on gaming. I ain't get to do it today, y'all. So we're going to be on that duty in the morning. Hey, man, look, hop on with your boy. We're going to be on there. I'll be shooting some people in the face. But yeah, man, it's been fun. But we about to get the fuck up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next one as always, man.
Don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.